sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Who takes home the gold? We all will have the answer to that question about 2 hours from now when the Circle City Baseball Conference Championship is decided. And hello again, everyone, and welcome to another exclusive Internet Sports broadcast presentation of IHSA Baseball on the Family of Networks Indiana, SRN. Steve McClure along with Thad Van Deventer reporting to you live from Roncalli High School here on the south side of Indianapolis as we get you ready for championship level baseball, pitting the host Rebels up against upstart Brebeuf. Our pregame show is brought to you by the Morales Group. Well, I used the word upstart to describe the baseball annex of the Brebeuf Braves upset winners earlier today in the conference semifinals, turning back favorite and number 2 seed Guerin Catholic. The Golden Eagles came into the game sporting an impressive 17-3 record, while Brebeuf stood at 13-12-1. Headed to the final inning of play, Guerin Catholic led comfortably 5-2 and had retired the first 2 Braves hitters before the drama ensued. A walk, a hit batsman, and a towering 3-run home run by Gabe Wright over the left center field fence tied the game at 5 apiece. The Braves still added another run to take the lead at 6-5 in the same inning, and that's where things ended, with the Golden Eagles going quietly in the bottom of the 7th. Meanwhile, Roncalli kind of waltzed its way to the championship tonight with a relatively easy 8-1 win over the 6-hit pitching of starter Will Schottel, who went the distance. And that's where we stand. Let's bring in my broadcast partner, Thad Van Deventer, now and get his initial thoughts about tonight's game. How are you, my friend? Much too long has it been?
I'm good, Steve, and, it's been a lot of baseball action here on the south side today. It's good that they put together, like, the trio of the south side here on Indiana SRN. You worked with Jimmy earlier today, and then me and you getting the band back together, so that's nice. But, thinking about Circle City Conference, I like the way that the tournament is laid out. I like that the games are compacted and back-to-back. It simulates baseball at its best. You got to see who has the deepest rotation. You got to see who can consistently get runners on and get runners across the plate. I just like how the way the tournament's set up. You're talking about Brebeuf coming back, though, against Guerin Catholic. Very impressive from the Braves. Roncalli, though, here at home, took care of business in their semifinal. They were ahead 8-0, held on 8-1. So the Rebels, sitting pretty here at home, but Brebeuf maybe finding their stride here late in the season.
Kind of two sides of the coin as far as tonight's championship game. First of all, Roncalli easing their way into the championship game, playing earlier today, then having additional time to rest, whereas it is the Braves of Brebeuf with an explosive dugout after the celebration, and then they had just a very short period to go eat, get a rest, and they're back at the ballpark.
And not only that, but they also played last night.
Yeah.
So, this is their third game in under 24 hours if you look at actual time being played or time elapsed, if you will. So, Brebeuf, you would think, the possibility of fatigue could be there. And I don't mean like they're just tired and worn out. I'm mostly talking about their arms, their pitching arms. Going to be a real test for them to see how deep they can go into their rotation. If they do have to make a play to the bullpen, who do they have available? Who's fresh enough? Who has enough innings left for the Braves matching up with this Roncalli offense?
This Roncalli team has a record now of, 13-8. Is that correct? As we come into tonight's game, they've been on a pretty good roll of recent times, but Thad, as you well know, and I know, they play always up in schedule.
Roncalli is almost to that tier of where Cathedral is, and that's every sport that they play. They play up in football. They play a very tough basketball schedule every year. Nothing is different here on the diamond, and it's proven it's paid dividends for them, especially when they get to tournament play. They've made a couple of deep runs the last few seasons, obviously state championship just 3 years ago now almost, coming up next month in June. So the Rebels really do test themselves. They've also had the talent of recent years as well to really play up and play that schedule, and not only play a tough schedule but compete with that schedule.
2016 IHSA State Baseball Champions, and I see right behind us, which is part of the press box and the dressing room for Roncalli, the name of Nick Schnell, who's now in the professional ranks playing for the Tampa Bay Rays down in instructional league at Gulf Coast, and wow, he had a terrific career at Roncalli.
Yeah, what a decision you have to make when you're 18. Should I go to Louisville, one of the top 10 programs in the country going right now, play in the Atlantic Coast Conference, have the possibility of perhaps, advancing deep, playing in a College World Series out in Omaha, or do I go ahead and accept this contract that was just awarded to me after being drafted in the first round by the Rays? I mean, what a dilemma to have to try to decide when you're 18 years old, man.
The introduction of the starting lineups as well as all of the teams coming out on the lines as we prepare for the colors and our national anthem. One more thing about this Brave Buff team, Thad, is then we touched on this earlier today, a lot of youth here.
That's good to see. If you're head coach Jeff Scott, you're building something there, and they've had a good storied history of baseball at Brebeuf. But when you have a young squad like this, the way that you've seen them battle here down the stretch of the season, very important. And we haven't gotten into the starting lineup yet, but it's going to be pretty imperative for Shane Bauer to have a really, really strong outing for them. He's a guy. He's been a horse on the hill for him so far this year. Very, very key for them, for Brebeuf, to see if Bauer can go deep into this ball game.
We are going to step aside for our first break, and when we come back, we'll have our starting lineups. You are watching the Indiana SRN presentation of the Circle City Conference Baseball Championship.
In the name of the Father.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. We understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
Back here at Roncalli High School, Circle City Conference Baseball Championship game. This is our Morales Group pregame show, building better futures one story at a time. And now on a pregame show, let's send it down field side to the coach, Keith Myers. Keep it right here. Here in the booth, Thad Van Eer, Steve McClure here with you. And Steve, like we were talking about before, with Bauer on the hill today for Brebeuf, let's talk about the starting lineups here. We'll start with you.
All right, here's Brebeuf again coming into tonight's game with a record of 14-12-1. They'll lead it off this way. Andrew Pickett at shortstop. Gabe Wright, the hero of earlier today with that 3-run blast over the left center field fence. It'll be Shane Bauer, the starting pitcher. He'll bat in the third position. It'll be Shane Swenson, the designated hitter and hitting cleanup. It's Jack Maruknik at third base. Carl Meyer will be in the sixth spot and the right fielder. And it'll be Adam Hartong, who is the second baseman, followed by Grant Farlander, who is behind the plate, and Anthony Ani will be the center fielder. Roncalli will go this way, and pretty much the same of the lineup that we saw earlier today in that win of 8-1 over Chittard. Brian Keeney will lead things off and be the catcher. It is Tommy Henson, the center field, followed by Dom Brown, and we'll continue with that as Brebeuf will come to the lineup. The first thing right here in the top half of the first inning. And thanks again for joining us on Indiana SRN. It's a privilege for us to bring you this telecast tonight. Steve McClure along with Thad Van Deventer. Not much wind out there, Thad. Pretty much going from right to center field. We didn't see much of an impact earlier today.
Nice little cover here, kind of back here secluded on the back half of the property here at Roncalli. The trees surrounding us, that'll knock down the wind, so should have a true and a fair game there as far as the ball's going to fly.
Andrew Pickett will lead things off, batting .253 on the season and hitting from the right side. Starting pitcher once again for the Rebels, Eric Hummel. Here's a ball hit out into center field, and camping under it for the first out of the inning is Tommy Hanson. No problem there, one down.
Lazy fly there, and we didn't get a chance to talk about him yet. Let's talk about him right now. Eric Hummel, the pitcher for Roncalli. What you want to see from your pitcher to start out any game, you want to see him pound the strike zone. He gets out 0-2 right there on the leadoff batter. Throws something a little bit off speed, gets the batter out in front off the end of the back, and a lazy fly ball out the center. What you want to see Hummel here today for the Rebels, just pound that strike zone as much as he can.
And you can see now that the shadows have moved past the pitcher's mound in your picture here, and everything at the plate as well. So Hummel will be dealing here. Next pitch is hit sharply into left field. It's going to fall in there. Could go for two, but I think he'll stop right there. So it is Gabe Wright again on that tough play on that going down the left field line. So good contact there, Thad.
Nice job there by Wright, getting a pitch he likes. Line driving it out the left field. Nice little play there by Troxel as well to cut that ball off on the line and get it in quickly to limit Wright to just a single.
Don't be surprised if Gabe Wright takes off. He has exceptional speed. He gets in about a 3 to 4 step lead. You'll watch him there as Shane Bauer comes to the plate. The starting pitcher for the Brebeuf Braves. Hummel looking in, taking from the stretch. Looks over to first base for a moment. No problem there with Bright.
A little off speed there, but unable to find the zone now. 2-0 here for Bauer. Bauer, 28 hits on the season, Steve. 22 singles, but he's batting .400, so he's a guy that puts a lot of contact on the ball, but maybe not for power.
And hitting in that third spot, very, very effective. He's hitting over .400, so that's how effective he has been all season long. One out here in the inning, and Gabe Wright aboard at first base after singling to left field. This one's way outside for a ball. So the count goes to 3-1. First time he's gone behind in the count.
3-1 here too, Steve. Good opportunity here with Bauer. Guy handle the bat, see if they put Wright in motion.
Looks like he's going to stay there, and he'll swing right through it and foul and off and back it out of play. So it was a good pitch to hit right down the zone, and so the count will now go to 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you're just joining us, we're in the top half of the first, and there goes Wright to second base. And he'll have to come back, and we'll do it all over again on that foul. Sean Swenson will be on deck, the designated hitter. Again, it was Roncalli reaching the championship game by defeating Chittard earlier today, 8-1. And a 6-5 win for the Brebeuf Braves over Guerin Catholic in a stunning upset.
Right now, Wright really not with a large lead over there at first, so it doesn't look like he's going to really force the issue here early in the game.
Hummel to the plate, again foul back, so Bauer staying alive. We'll get a new baseball.
And since this count's gotten deeper here, Steve, Hummel has just been trying to pepper fastballs right past Bauer, and he hasn't been able to.
Let's see if he stays with the fastball. Good velocity, and it is a breaking ball, and it's way up high, so he misses on that 3-2 count, and that'll put 2 runners aboard.
All right, we talked about with the first batter, Andrew Pickett. He was able to get 2 strikes in there immediately, hammering the strike zone. Now, a couple runners on base. Still got a double play set for you if you can get a hard hit ground ball. But he's really got to focus in here and hit the strike zone.
Senior Sean Swanson coming to the plate, the DH, with 2 runners aboard and 1 out in the inning. Called strike 1.
Good pitch there.
Hummel taking his time out there on the mound, looking in for a sign. Good communication between the two on that batteries. Here's the pitch, and it's hit down to the third baseman. Tough play to handle. He steps on third, on over to first base in time for a double play. How about that?
Really nice play there by the Rebels.
So the Braves go quietly after putting 2 runners aboard, and Ron Colley comes up with a key double play in the inning for Brebeuf. No runs on 1 hit and no errors and no one left on base. After a half an inning, it's Brebeuf nothing and the Rebels coming to bat.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Back here at Ron Colley, our first inning tonight brought to us by Logan Street Signs and Banners, 317-773-7200, LoganStreetSigns.com.
As we head to the bottom half of the first inning, Ron Colley will come to the plate for the first time tonight after Brebeuf went quietly on a terrific double play turned in by the Rebels, and that cleared the bases. So first pitch, an overhand fastball, and misses for ball 1.
I want to go back for just a second, Steve. That play at third base from Dominic Brown to end the inning. He got a tough hop off the lip there over at third base, able to stay in front of it, kind of a high hop, caught it about his right shoulder, but you know, in baseball, you always got to be focused on the next play. You got to know where you're going to go. He says, I got enough time. I'm going to step on the bag, fire a rocket across, and then a nice job by the first baseman to pick it up on the short hop, finish that double play.
Breaking ball falls across the heart of the plate, and that'll take the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bauer on the year 1-5, but don't let that fool you. He's second as far as the team is concerned with innings pitched, 24 walks and 44 strikeouts, and right now, Thad, he looks like he has some pretty good velocity.
Got some juice out there.
Yep. Brian Keeney at the plate. Fouls it off. Going to get out of play, and we'll do it again. Keeney on the year, been a very instrumental part of this Rebel offense and defensively. He, on the season, hitting .527 with 16 RBIs. I'd say that's pretty productive.
.527, typically solid.
It's a ball hit down the right field line, going to go into foul territory, and he'll have to come all the way back halfway to second base. So
Keeney had a mindset for a minimum of a double there.
Got good wheels out there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They set his bat straight up and down on the home plate. You see that?
Yeah.
Nice courtesy.
Keeney a little old school, too. No batting gloves for the young man.
I like that.
He's got the eye black. Jersey was dirty before the game started. He's a gamer. He probably could have played for the Phillies back in the 90s.
Yeah, Tommy Handsome is standing in the on-deck circle, but it's Keeney right now as he hits it to the shortstop. And it's going to be fielded there, and it's going to be close here. And it gets away from the first baseman, and he did not turn the other way, so he will be safe. And you're going to have to call that, I believe, a base hit. Thank you. Officially, a 1-bagger. So Keeney is aboard, and Tommy Hansen will come to the plate now, also batting from the right side. That was a tough play. Kind of handcuffed him there at shortstop. Pickett a little indecisive about coming up with it, but finally able to get it away, but one step too late. Keeney, good lead. Ball gets away from the catcher, and Keeney on his way to the second, standing up, and he rounds second with a threat to go to third, but no. So the ball kind of got away from Grant Farlander, the catcher. Perhaps a pass ball on that. So runner now at second base. No one out here in the bottom of the first with the Rebels at bat. Up high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. It's been a warm day in Indianapolis. Today we began our game this afternoon with an 86-degree temperature, and tonight, Thad, 85.
I like it, Steve. I mean, it finally feels like baseball weather.
For sure. Here's the ball down the third baseman on to first, and he's going to get him not. And the ball gets away, and here comes Keeney around third base. Going to get down on the throw, and he's safe. Head first slide. Runner on to second is Hanson, and he is safe. So 2 errant throws, Thad, from third base by Maroknik allows the base runners to continue to roam for the Rebels, and they have a 1-0 lead.
Well, 2 batters into the game. You see a couple of wild throws over to first. The Rebels already with a notch on the scoreboard here.
Yep.
And Keeney with the aggression there on the base pass allows Hanson to move to second. But Keeney, very aggressive. We saw him round second on that pass ball. He was looking for third. You knew on a play like that he was going to test it on his way to home and able to get in there with a head first slide.
Farlander took the throw on the incoming and had a pretty good chance at it, but the slide was to the outside of the base, and he put the hand down, and a perfect slide it was. So it's 1-0, Roncalli. That was exciting. Dominic Brown to the plate now, also hitting from the right side. The third baseman takes a called strike.
Pretty good little off-speed pitch there.
Count goes to 0-2. So Roncalli strikes first here in the first inning. We'll look back to second, and on the way to the plate comes Sean. Bauer, the starting pitcher for today's game. Ready to go to work once again. Brown waits, and this one gets away from the catcher again on a wild pitch. Coming around third base, he'll stop right there is Tommy Hanson. So things a little shaky here, Thad, for the opening inning.
They're going to call that another pass ball there for Hanson to advance over to
All right. Thank you.
third base, and a quick visit here. I want to talk things over. No outs, runner at third here already for the Rebels, so another obvious scoring chance here for Roncalli. So coach wants to go out there, and I think, a little bit of aggression out there on the mound with the visit.
Yep.
I think a little bit of uncertainty with what Bauer's thought process is there, and then also I think he's digging into Farlander there a little bit behind the plate. He's tried both of those pass balls. He's tried to glove like this. He's trying to glove it backhand instead of opening up and either fielding it with his blocking it with his chest protector or getting down on his knees, and both of those have slid through the 5-hole, to use hockey terms, and gotten to the backstop.
And Thad Forbury-Buff, head coach Jeff Scott, he's a no-nonsense sort of a guy. You could tell the way that he approached the mound in terms of his little upset with his team. So, again, there's no one out, and runner on third base is Tommy Hanson. Dom Brown continues at the plate with a 3-2 count. Steps out momentarily for timeout.
And Brebuff has already brought the infielders in here, Steve.
Yep, they got to cut off this run. Can't let it get out of hand. So Brown will be followed by Beckman. Here's a ball hit into left field. It's going to drop in, and another run will score. An RBI single for Dom Brown, and now the Rebels take a 2-0 lead. On the nose was Dom Brown on that hit.
Right down the left field line. Got a pitch he could handle, obviously, and just hits a nice little looping line drive down the left field line on that breaking ball there from Bauer.
So Shane Bauer in some trouble here in the opening inning. 2 runs across for the Rebels, and still no one out. Breaking ball across the heart of the plate. Cole Beckman at the plate now for the Rebels. hitting .234 on the season and 16 RBIs. Throw over to first base, back in time. Bauer ready to come to the plate. Here's a swing and a miss. That was a good pitch. Up high in the zone. Unable to catch up with it is Beckman. Infield drops back with the runner at first base now. Looking to coax a ground ball here, Thad. Another breaking ball. Good shot. And he's out on strikes. So there are one out in the inning now.
Number 12, right fielder Ryan Henry.
Really nice pitch there from Bauer. He finally got back ahead in a count against the batter, dropped off a little breaking ball there, froze Beckman, and called third strike. Nice bounce back there from Bauer just to get that first out, though, of the inning.
Ryan Henry coming to the plate now, the second baseman for Roncalli. This will be the first left-handed batter for the Rebels in the lineup. Crowds the plate. Watches the first one as a called strike. Kind of crowds the plate a little bit. Kind of reminds me of myself. Hitting from the left side. I like to crowd that plate. I took a few pitches for the team.
There you go.
Let me tell you. One for the team.
Any way you can get on base, right,
That's
Steve?
exactly right, especially when you're a leadoff batter. I mean, come on. Got to get something started.
Lead off in second base. That was Mr. McClure.
Yes, sir. Head in the count, 0-2 now. Ryan Henry waits and is fouled off to the left side. He had a good game today in the opener in that 8-1 win over Chittard. Aaron Kroll, the head coach for this Roncalli Rebel team, got his 200th IHSA baseball victory this year. Congrats to him. That's a lot of baseball.
He's seen a couple games.
Yes, he has. Beautiful night here in the city of Indianapolis. Glad for you to join us. Here's a ball and up high in the zone, and he cuts right through it, and that was a hard strike. So they're two down.
Back-to-back strikeouts there for Bauer. Nice job here. If he can kind of work his way out of this with only giving up 2 runs after the first 3 batters of the inning reached base, that'd be pretty big, not only for Bauer but for the Braves.
Here's Alex Stroud will step in, the junior first baseman. Again, runner at first base after 2 runs that he hits the batter, and he is awarded first base. Made no attempt to get out of the way. But we have 2 runners aboard now, Thad. After he had retired the last 2 batters on strikes, thought he might get out of this thing. So Troxel, John Troxel, the left fielder, will be next. The number 7 hitter to come to the plate for Roncalli. Bauer works out of the stretch and to the plate outside. Roncalli dressed in their whites and trimmed in red and blue, as always. Red helmets. Troxel waits. It's up high in the zone. Takes the count to 2-0.
With that pitch there, Steve, Bauer already at 26 pitches here just in this first inning.
That's 2 inning. Start approaching that. So here's a ball hit into right field. This could be trouble. And it is the right fielder who bobbles it momentarily for Brebeuf. That's Carl Meyer, but still able to pull it in. That was a great catch to end this inning. But for Roncalli, they pick up 2 runs on 2 base hits and 2 errors and 1 left on base. After 1 complete, it's Roncalli 2, Brebeuf nothing.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Back here at Roncalli, our second inning of our Circle City Conference Championship game tonight, brought to us by McIntyre Imaging. We take pictures of everything. 317-997-9570, McIntyre Imaging.
That Van Deventer, the Brebeuf Braves find themselves down by the score of 2-0 as we start play here in the top half of the second inning. Marechnik, Meyer, and Aiden Hartung will come to the plate for the Braves. Marechnik, third baseman, having a little bit of difficulty in that opening inning. Defensively, swings through it. Eric Hummel on the hill for Roncalli. And getting 2 runs to begin this game is big. Marechnik waits, and this is fouled off the mask of the catcher. Brian Keeney seems to be okay.
Got a little piece of him.
Tough position to field. I'm not sure that's the most welcome position, that when you start fielding a team, like they say, put your hand up, who wants to be the catcher? Somebody's got to do it, right?
Hands are a little bit fewer, right? Everyone wants to play shortstop and be the pitcher, right?
That's it. I think it's the same thing with youth soccer these days. They say, I want to be the goalie. they want to run. They have no way. So, swing and a miss. Strike 3. First punch out of the day for Mr. Hummel. 1 out.
Number 6, right fielder Carl Meyer.
Carl Meyer coming to the plate. Will hit from the right side. The right fielder. Meyer on the season hitting 200. Getting in that number 6 spot for the Braves. And head coach Jeff Scott.
Swings through that one. He was trying to jump on a fastball there. First pitch, he expected it, just unable to connect. And then, so you think about it from the pitching standpoint, and Hummel says, oh, you're going to try to jump on that fastball, so pitch number 2, I'm going to give you something a little bit off speed.
They appealed that throw down to first base and said, no, 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 it is a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. 1 out here in the top half of the second. If you're just joining us, it's the Rebels up on top of the Braves, 2-0. Outside breaking ball, and again, appeal down to first base. Same answer.
25 pitches now for Hummel as well for Roncalli.
Meyer hits it off to the right side. This is going to get out of play, and we will get a new baseball. As first baseman down there, Alex Stroud, going as far as he could, but ran out of room. Adam Hartung will be next for the Braves. Again, who came into tonight's game with a record of 14-12-1. Hummel to the plate. Outside and back to the backstop. 3-2.
Look at that one there. You said, man, the catcher missed that one. Well, Keeney was trying to catch that one there with just the very outside web of his glove to try to frame that on the outside corner as much as he could.
So Hummel will give up a base on balls here. That will be the second walk of the game. So the Braves had a runner at first base with 1 out. Adam Hartung to the plate now, the second baseman. Again, hitting from the right side. You see him there on your screen. Eric Hummel delivers, fouled straight back, and we'll get another baseball.
Hartung trying to force the issue there, lay down a bunt. That's one thing I'm interested to see. Some of the batting averages here at the lower portion of the lineup here for Brebeuf, a little bit lower, so might try to force the issue a little bit more when they get here deeper into the lineup.
This pitch is up high, so that'll take the count to 1-1. Hartung is twirling that bat over his head. How do you like that green bat there, Thad?
Pretty sharp. I like it.
It doesn't exactly go with the maroon and gold, but I like it.
Sticks out just a little bit, but that's okay.
Wild. If he likes it, that's the most important thing.
You know, we haven't seen this yet on the baseball diamond, but, you know, in basketball, you see the guys with the neon shoes. I don't know if that'll be something we see here creep into baseball at some point.
There goes a runner, and a hit and run, and the ball goes out of play. So I like that call with a 2-2 count.
It's kind of what we were talking about. See how aggressive, kind of force the action here for Brebeuf here. Nice job of Hartung to foul that one away. Coach Scott feels strong enough that he can handle the bat well enough that he can put something like that in play.
Called strike three. So they're 2 down. Second punch out of the game and in this inning for Mr. Hummel. So 2 down.
Froze him that time off speed. Hartung looked like he was sitting for the fastball and gives him that breaking ball, and he just sat there. Nothing he could do.
Grant Farlander, a freshman catcher, will be coming to the plate. One of the many freshmen on this team, loaded with youth. Freshmen and sophomores pretty much occupy this entire lineup. And that's good news for Coach Scott, to know that you're going to have these kids back for not just 1, but perhaps 3 more years. They're only going to get better.
You know, everyone wants to coach an experienced team and a talented team and yada, yada, yada. Obviously, that equates to more wins. But these guys will probably tell you, too, it's fun. There's a base hit there for Farlander.
Farlander laces it into left field, and on the relay, coming back in safely. But now 2 runners aboard, but there are 2 outs in the inning. So Farlander on with a base hit. That is the second base hit of the game for Brebeuf.
Just to try to finish that thought, but sometimes, you know, when you have a younger team that has some pretty good talent like Brebeuf does, you know, Coach Scott, you know, that could be kind of fun too. You know, you coach this team up, you can see the, you know, kind of the progression, if you will. You know, that you've probably got 3 stages with this team, this season, next season, and the year after that. You can see how far you can take a run here with the Braves.
And Cole Hartung will come in to run at first base for Farlander, sophomore on this team and the brother of Adam. 2 down, 2 on here in the second. So the Braves threatening a little bit here, down by the score of 2-0. Ane batting in the number 9 spot, the left fielder, and here comes Coach Kroll out to the mound to talk to his starting pitcher. A slow walk out to the mound as the meeting has all of the infielders. Did you see anything there, Thad?
I think it's a good visit here from Coach Kroll. I think all he's going to tell him is, look, top of the order's on deck. We got the number 9 hole hitter here at the plate, 2-0. We've got 2 outs. Just, you know, let's pound the strike zone here. Let's not try to get too cute with it. Make sure it's in the zone. Make this guy put it in play. Make this guy get a hit to, you know, push a run across, especially with the top of the lineup up or on deck.
Yeah, I thought perhaps Coach Kroll had seen something in the delivery by Hummel. He seems to be okay. Working out of the stretch now with 2 on and 2 out. Ron Colley up on top of Brebeuf, 2-0 in this Circle City Conference Championship. Swing and a miss, 2-1.
Just like that, comes back, fastball right through the heart of the plate for a strike.
Looking in. Ani waits, and another swing and a miss. That was down and away, and a very good pitch. Deuces Wild on the scoreboard.
You know, we used to say back in Little League, Steve, 2, 2, and 2, what's the batter going to do?
It's kind of a rhyme, isn't it? We're going to find out right now. Ane against starting pitcher Eric Hummel. This is up high, so the count goes 3-2. Everybody going to be on the run here, Thad. Start your engines. Had a big day today out at the Indy 500. A heated track, but they got it all in. Tomorrow threatens with showers and thunderstorms, so could be big trouble for the IMS. And here is a called strike. And the strikeout side after Hummel ran into a little bit of trouble in the inning in the second. The Braves, no runs on 1 hit and no errors and 2 left on base. After 1.5, it's the Roncalli Rebels 2, Red Buff, nothing. We're going to send it down to the coach, Keith Myers, who has this special report. Coach?
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. And with us is a guy who's used to Indiana SRN. He's part of the SRN crew and the principal of Chittard High School, Joe Hansen. Your young man is playing for this team.
He is. Tommy Hansen starting in center field. He's batting second tonight. So, you know, I'm out here as a fan of the Circle City Conference and also as a fan of the Roncalli Rebels. So.
On Monday, we contacted all the principals and the coaches, wanted to get this game on, and you're the first one to respond. Let's get this done. And you kind of like that the state can see this whole entire game and showing off this great conference.
Yeah, when you guys invited me to be a part of the broadcast for wrestling, I really fell in love with your mission and your ministry and what you're trying to do. And then you invited me into the booth at the Roncalli Covenant Christian game, and I know that you're just trying to promote, you know, the beauty of high school sports. You're promoting our conference, and I think you guys do a fantastic job of that.
And this conference has a lot of state champions with Buff, Roncalli, and Heritage Christian all winning a state champion. This is a pretty good baseball conference.
Yeah, it's a great conference really in everything. And, you know, we're looking to expand. So when we have our principal athletic director meetings, we're always talking about teams that we'd like to reach out and invite. It's gone, I think, from 4 teams to 5 teams to 6 teams. We'd like to get it at around 8 teams at some point. So, you know, we're looking for 2 other teams to join our conference.
Joe, we thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Steve, Thad?
Thank you very much, Keith Myers, and thank you for being with us tonight. Great report from the sidelines. We are headed to the bottom half of the second inning, Thad Van Diever.
What Principal Hansen had to say there, Steve, sounds like it might be time to start the Steve McClure Institute. Maybe we can get you in as team number 7 there to the Circle City Conference.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm ready to go. I'm always ready to go. Born ready. This second inning is being brought to you by McIntyre Imaging. We take pictures of everything. Call 317-997-9570. They are the best in the business. Rick McIntyre. There's a ball hit up the middle. Fielded by the shortstop, and I don't believe it's going to be in time again. Wow. So the Rebels, great speed tonight, and they are exhibiting that not only in the first inning, but here in the second. Runner aboard.
Second baseman Nathan Grannon.
2 innings, 2 leadoff batters reaching base here for the Rebels, and you want to wreak havoc with a pitcher and a defense. You get guys on base, get the defense moving around, make them just feel a little bit uncomfortable out there, Steve.
For sure. Here's Nathan Grannon, the second baseman, coming to the plate. They've got him caught between first and second, and the ball gets away from the shortstop on his way to third base. Head slide, and he is in there safely.
And I think that hit the runner when the first baseman went to throw it there to second.
So we're going to put an A3 on that for against the Braves. That'll be their 3rd error of the game. And we're only in the second inning. The Rebels now with a runner at third base and still no one out. They bring the infield in once again. to the plate. Mr. Bauer, 2 balls and no strikes. Nathan Grannon, second baseman, in the number 9 spot tonight. Swing straight up in the air. Going to have room? No. Out of play. Top of the press box.
You were ready for it, though.
I was.
If this net wasn't in the way, you'd be right all over that,
You
Steve.
got the ball in your hands, so you must have caught it. Want to thank Ron Colley for being an exceptional host for this championship game and earlier today. Good friends of ours at Indiana SRN. Rob Brown from the Rebel Media Network, always a big help to us.
Can't do a Ron Colley game without giving a shout out to Rob Brown.
Rob
it's impossible.
He's in the Windy City today, taking in a little baseball with the White Sox, I believe. The tweet I saw. So he's got the weekend off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at third for the Rebels. Inside pitch almost gets away. That'll take the count to 3-2. No one out here in the second, and Ron Colley already with a 2-0 lead. To the plate up high, and it's a ball. So Granard's on the board. So the threat for Ron Colley continues, and we go to the top of the order with Brian Keeley. Keeney, of course, reached base on a single, trotted his way from first, second to third, and then scored on that slide into home, which was spectacular. Almost an ESPN moment there at that. Called strike on a breaking ball.
Good pitch there.
Bauer's pitch count got to be getting up there in the 40s, I would think. We'll check on that. It's only into the 4-0 it is. How about that? That's about as accurate as you can get that. A good guess, right?
It's called an educated guess. Educated guess.
Something like that.
You've seen enough games. You just got a sense of how many times he's thrown to the plate.
No balls and 2 strikes. Runners at first and third for Ron Colley, and no one out here in the second. Bauer delivers outside 4 ball. Just cannot find it, Thad.
He's did a good job here getting ahead 0-2. Now 1-2, but you've got first and third. This would be a huge out for Brebeuf.
Yep. Again, trying to bring that infield in to coax a double play ball. Count goes to 2-2 now. We're going to keep an eye on the Braves bullpen, but you got to feel like the coach Scott is going to try to get this young man through at least 3 innings. Down low for a ball.
0-2 now to a full count. Nice job by Keeney. Sharp eye. Infield is in here with a full count. Nobody out.
Hartung would probably be the answer in terms of a relief pitcher here. Here's a ball hitting down into left field, going foul and over the fence, so they'll bring that one back. He'd like to swoosh that just a little bit to his right, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that ball was hit a ton, but he was way out in front of it. 45 pitches now for Bauer.
Went down in the zone and almost golfed that thing, so count goes to 3-2. Runner goes. Foul off again. Keeney keeping things alive. An outstanding leadoff hitter for these Rebels. Keeney, one of the seniors on this club. Leading off. Position leadership on the field.
Keeney going to be staying here on the south side. He's going to go play some baseball at UIndy.
Yes, sir. Keep him close to home. Ball outside, gets away from Farlander briefly, but it is a ball 4. So now, nowhere to put him. Bases loaded, and again, no one out in the inning.
Tough spot here for Bauer. Bases loaded, nobody out, and guess who's due up? You've got 2, 3, and 4. Heart of the order right now for the Rebels.
Tommy Hanson coming to the plate here. Hanson with 8 RBIs on the season. Swing and a miss. Good hard fastball.
I like that aggressive cut there from Hanson. He knew he was going to get a fastball there. He was trying to jump all over it. Try to put a crooked number on the board there.
Once again, infield in. Straight back on the foul.
Another good hack.
Outfield straight away. Troxel in left. Excuse me, that is Roncalli. Ane in left, right in center, and Meyer in right field. Again, foul back. Defensively for Brebeuf at third, it's Jack Maruknik. Pickett at short, Hartung at second, and Sam Reed, who got a little pitching today in the opening game and got the win, is at first base. Farlander behind the plate. Bauer delivers, again foul back. It's about 4 straight fouls here. Hope we got enough baseballs to go around.
Well, he's been pounding him with fastballs here, Bauer has. Hanson just keeps fouling him back. Interested to see if Bauer trusted enough with Farlander behind the dish to go something off speed. There it was.
Here's a ball hit down third base and gets through. 1 run will score. Here comes the second across the plate. And on to third base on the advance as well as the second. Everybody safe and 2 more runs in. Roncalli 4, Brebeuf nothing. Good piece of hitting there by Mr. Hanson, who was very patient at the plate.
Third baseman Dominic Brown.
Well, Bauer finally relented, went with an off-speed pitch. A nice job by Hanson to make pretty solid contact, and with the infield in, didn't take much to squeeze it in between short and third, and 2 RBIs there for Hanson.
Yep. And here's a ball hit by Dominic Brown into center field. Does he corral it? He does. Then a tag at third, and on to home plate comes the runner. And the Rebels have added still another run here in the second inning to make it 5-0. Pretty good play out there by Wright, who had to come in for it and went down to his knees to make the catch for the first out of the inning. Cole Beckman is next. Sixth player to come to the plate here. Pass ball again. So the runner will advance to third base for Roncalli. Hanson. A couple errors and a couple of pass balls committed here by the Braves have really hurt them in the early going. Just joining us, we're in the bottom of the second. Roncalli now with a 5-0 lead over Brebeuf. This is the Circle City Conference Championship. Ball hit into right field, and coming over to make the catch is Carl Meyer, tagging at third and in to score once again to make it 6-0. Sacrifice fly by Beckman gets the RBI, Thad.
Well, he did a nice job there on that breaking ball, keeping his hands back, got the ball lifted. Obviously, he'd like to hit a line drive out there to the gap, but he gets the ball deep enough into the outfield, gets a little sacrifice fly there, another RBI for him, and the 6th run across here for Roncalli.
So 4 runs in here in the inning. The bases are cleared now, and here is Ryan Henry, who struck out back in the first inning. Inside pitch, and it hits the plate. Shot back to the backstop. They'll retrieve it. On deck batter is Troxel, giving a little help to the home plate umpire. Bauer down low. We'll head out to the mound as the conversation will ensue here between Grant Farlander. Turns right back around after delivering the pitch back to his starting pitcher.
Nice job there by Farlander. I think he's just trying to buy Bauer a little bit of time, a couple deep breaths. He's got a lot of pitches already here in these first 2 innings.
Pitch is delivered and hit straight into center field for a solid base hit. So the Rebels not done yet, and on to first base he goes.
Stroud.
Ryan Henry aboard with his first base hit of the game. And now Stroud will bat. 8th player and at bat of the inning for Roncalli. 4 runs in. Called strike. Stroud was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. No action in that Brebeuf bullpen as of yet.
You would almost think here, we talked about this is their 3rd game in 2 days, and if Coach Scott's going to make a move, it's probably going to be to somebody already
in the game,
playing in position out on the field.
Well, Hartung is the second baseman, and he appeared to be maybe the next in line, but we'll wait and find out. No changes made thus far here in the second. Stroud waits from the right side, outside for a ball. 2 down in the inning, but the Rebels have scored 4 times to make it 6-0 now. Roncalli swept the series. Correct that in the regular season?
They did. They here in the Circle City Conference, you go back-to-back. You play Tuesday, Wednesday, home and home, and they back on April 9th and 10th, they defeated Brebeuf 2-0 and 4-0. So the Braves here through 2 games and
starting to resemble what
2
we
innings
had back then in April, right?
They have not notched a single run here against Roncalli so far this season.
Right. Runner leads at first is Henry. Strike 3 called, and the inning finally comes to a close. But in the inning, Roncalli comes up with 4 hits on, 4 hits on 4 runs on 4 hits and 1 left on base. After 2 complete, it's Roncalli 6 and Brebeuf nothing.
Thanks to Rick McIntyre and McIntyre Imaging for their support of Christian radio and sports. Their service is capturing moments in time and images that provide a record of the celebrations, blessings, and gifts the Lord has given. McIntyre Imaging Products gives their clients a snapshot of life for family and future generations. You may reach Rick and his staff at McIntyre Imaging at www.mcintyreimaging.com.
Top of the 3rd inning here at the south side of Indianapolis here at Roncalli High School. 3rd inning here brought to us by Noblesville Trophies, 317-773-7391, noblesvilletrophies.com.
Interesting stat being provided to us by the official scorer for the Roncalli Rebels, and 37 pitches is the total in the 2nd inning for Mr. Bauer. So we look down into the bullpen now for Brebeuf, and they have action going. Here's a ball hit down the left field line, going to be in there for a base hit on the leadoff from Pickett. And we look down the way there, and it is, as I anticipated, Aiden Hartung warming up, the senior. Brebeuf trying to get something going here in the top half of the 3rd inning. If you're just joining us, the Rebels pushed across 2 in the opening frame and 4 in the second to make it 6-0 now. And here comes Gabe Wright to the plate. Gabe had a single back in the opening inning. Again, he was the hero of today's earlier game with a 3-run home run that got the Braves into a tie situation with Garin Catholic in the top half of the 7th inning, and able to get 1 more run for the win to give it them a 6-5 victory. Two balls and no strikes now. Get 2 of the pitchers up now. Looks like also down there is number 20. That's Danny Kirk, sophomore. Ball hit off to the right side and out of play. Pickett remains at the plate. Excuse me. That is Gabe Wright at the plate. Runner board for Brebeuf here in the top half of the third inning. Steve McClure along with Ad Van Devener and our executive producer, Jerry Collins. And the coach, Keith Myers, down on the field. Ball hit into left field, and it right is aboard with a solid single. So 2 for 2 on the night for Gabe Wright. And the Braves had runners now at first and second. That's very encouraging for Coach Scott and the Braves.
A lot of time left in this game, Steve. You had the top of the order coming up here to start the third inning. You get both those guys on base, and now you get Bauer, you get Swinson coming up here, 3 and 4 in your lineup. And for Brebeuf, like I said, a lot of time left, but you just got to get that first run across. It just relieves a lot of tension once you get that first notch up there on the scoreboard.
And we referred to the old cliche of Yogi Berra earlier today that the game is never over until it's over.
Until it's over.
And that was the song that the Brebeuf Braves sang today. It looked like it was Katie Bar the door, and here's a ball hit off to the left side, and it's going to be out of play down the left field line.
That one hammered way foul, Steve.
Mm-hmm. So 2 on and no one out here in the third for Brebeuf. Looking to find some magic. Foul off. Count remains at 1 and 2.
Bauer being aggressive here.
Bauer looks back, has a little conversation with the home plate umpire, now ready to go. Hamel looks in for the sign. Tugs at his cap, steps on the rubber, and will come to the plate when he is good and ready. There's a ball hit out at the shortstop, and it is bobbled there. Well, this will be an interesting play as now the Braves have the bases loaded, and we will get an official count on that one. Base hit. Thank you very much. So 3 consecutive singles, Thad, now for the Braves, and they have runners at first, second, and third, and no one out.
Well, for Beckman, that was going to be a tough play regardless. He was deep in the hole. He tried to get all the way in front of it instead of backhanding it. Either way, not sure if he would have had a chance to throw Bauer out at first base. Official score says that's a hit, and I agree there. So bases loaded here for Brebeuf, and we talked about a lot of time left in this game, but this would be gigantic if Swinson could come through here with the base knock for the Braves.
Especially if you can come up with an extra base here in the gap. 365 to dead center. Down the lines 315 and 325. These are long fences.
That time Hamel maybe just tried to overthrow that one, kind of pulled himself to the left off the rubber.
385 in the alleys. That's Major League Baseball style there, Thad. Those distances.
Those numbers would not have dissuaded you, though, Steve. You have been up there. You've been hacking. You've been trying to take it deep. You try to hit it on the interstate out there over the trees.
Kind of reminds me of Victory Field, the old Victory Field out on 16th Street. First game I ever played under the lights. That was a thrill. I looked out into center field, it was like 480.
Yeah, that was before they put the that's before they put the fence out there in dead center.
Yeah,
they still had the brick wall out there.
Yeah, they did. Good hitting background though.
56 pitches now for
starting to
Hamel.
Go up the ladder here in terms of pitch count for both of these starters, and still only here in the third inning. What was that count in that only just the second inning? 37 was it? Something like that
for Bauer.
Yeah.
Right.
So Hamel having a little bit of trouble here.
Early in the game here, Steve. This is a big pitch here. Full count,
yes,
nobody out. Bases juiced.
Swinson waiting. Chokes up a little bit on the bat. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
High heater. Got him.
That is important out, especially with the bases loaded. So 1 down. And Jack Maruknik will come to the plate. Left-handed batter. Jack, another one of the youthful players on this Brebeuf team, a sophomore infielder. Trying to get a base hit, and this thing is hit into right field. Going to be out of play, and they come in. So they'll retrieve it. Got pretty good contact there, Thad.
He was out in front of it just a little bit. Nice job there by Henry. He thought he was going to run that one down in foul territory in right field. Marechnik struck out his first time. Couple of good hacks at it his first attempt.
Don Brown shading toward second base at third. He's defensively there, so well off the bag. Swing and a miss. Good velocity on that pitch by Hummel. Takes a count to no balls and 2 strikes. A little anxious he was. Marechnik.
Pretty big swing from him there. Let's see if with 2 outs he tries to or 2 strikes he tries to shorten that up.
There we go. This ball hit into right center field. Gonna fall in there for extra bases. Here's 1 run. Here is the 2nd run coming. 3rd run on its way to the plate. Marechnik all the way to 3rd with a stand-up triple. And this is the kind of magic that Brebeuf needed.
Well, if we've learned anything from the Braves today, Steve, is they're not going to go down, quietly. Marechnik took a couple of big swings that time with 2 strikes, shortens it up just a little bit. He expected a fastball. He got it, rips one into the gap in right center field, clearing the bases, bringing 3 home Braves, and just like that, we've got ourselves a contest here, Steve.
Just the sound of the contact between the ball and the bat, you could tell it was trouble for Roncalli. Rolling all the way to the fence and retrieving it was Ryan Henry, but 3 runs across the plate. Outstanding speed up in that top part of the lineup for Brebeuf. Now a 6-3 game. Still only 1 out in the inning. Runner at third base is Marechnik. Delivery inside, and he hit him. So the inning will continue. So Hummel running into some big trouble now. Hit by pitch. Runner goes to first base.
Number 2, second baseman Aiden Harper.
Let's see what the infield will do here. Catcher comes out to discuss things, and Brian Keeney has a couple of signs, and he will trot his way all the way out to the mound.
I want to go back for just a second on that triple there from Marechnik. One thing that I did notice was just the base running of Shane Bauer at first base. When you're the base runner there, you've got a great vantage point to right field, and Bauer was on the heels of right as they came around third base, and it was just a great read from Bauer. He knew that ball was going to find a spot to fall safely into the gap out there, and he took off, and it probably earned the Braves an additional run there on that hit from Marechnik.
So a conference at the mound by Roncalli as Aaron Kroll comes calling. And it looks like it's Sammy Baugh down in the bullpen for Roncalli starting to heat up. Home plate umpire will go out to break up this conference. What are we going to do, Coach, he says. Still only in the 3rd inning. Roncalli with a 6-3 lead, but the complexion of this game, Thad, has changed in a hurry.
Let's talk about a little bit of strategy here. So you got 1 out in the inning. Brebeuf with runners on the corner. They trail by 3. So for Coach Scott, do you go ahead? Do you put the action play on at third base? If the ball's put in play, do you send the runner? We'll look at the defense here from Roncalli. First and third are in. Middle infielders back for the possibility of a double play. So if he hits it to the corners or back to the mound, they'll try to cut off the run at home if he takes off.
And I was getting ready to add one more thing to that scenario.
Squeeze.
Safety squeeze. As he squares around to bunt but pulls it back. It is a called strike. Pretty good idea.
We saw Hartung earlier. They felt comfortable with him. They called a hit and run. His last plate appearance, last inning, it was unsuccessful as he fouled one back. But Coach Scott feels pretty comfortable with Hartung and his ability to handle the bat.
First and third, 1 out. Ball is way up high.
He was squaring again there.
Small frame as far as the strike zone is concerned for this young man at the plate. Hartung took a called strike back in the 2nd inning. In fact, Hummel struck out the side in the 2nd. Things have changed in a big, big way now for Brebeuf here in this inning. Single, 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 strikeout, and triple. 3 RBIs. Squares the bunt, goes off to the right side for a foul.
66 pitches now for Hommel.
Good fastball delivered there and unable to put the bunt down, so going to have to bring it back.
2 strikes now on Hartung. Let's see if he's swinging away or if he's going to try to bunt once again.
Unsuccessful on 2 attempts, so you're going to feel like he's going to be swinging. Hommel. Ball hit to the shortstop. Ball going to come in on to second base for the force out, but the run scores.
Contact play was on for Marechnik. He comes in to score.
Yep.
Nice job there. Sliding into second base by Meyer. Nothing too aggressive or out of the ordinary, but a good hard slide into second so they can't turn that double play and get another runner across.
So 2 down are out. 2 down and a runner aboard at first base on the fielder's choice. So Henry officially gets an RBI there, Thad, to make it a 6-4 game. 7th batter to come to the plate here for Brebeuf in this top of the 3rd inning. Varlander waits at the plate. And we saw a little bit of action down in the bullpen for Roncalli.
Really taking their time down there. So it looks like that arm is ready to go.
Yep, he's pretty much ready. He's just standing and kind of watching, and now we'll resume soft toss.
Just staying loose down there.
Yep. 16, Sammy Baugh. One of these seniors on this team. Swing and a miss.
Big cut there from Farlander.
Hommel trying to get out of this thing. 4 runs are in for our Brebeuf. You just joined us. Roncalli jumping out to a 6-0 lead after only 2 innings, but Brebeuf has kind of turned the tables here to make it once again close, 6-4. From the stretch, Hommel to the plate, outside ball.
Make sure you introduce him, please. I'm not going to let them know who that is.
It's kind of been all over the place here in this inning, Thad, as far as his pitching is concerned. Inside, outside, up high. Good lead, it's first base, and he'll get back on the foul ball. New baseball coming in. Because it's a great privilege to bring you this Circle City Conference Baseball Championship today from Roncalli here on SRN. We've had an unbelievably successful year on the network. Football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, wrestling, we've done it all. Ball hit the second baseman, on to first for the 3rd out of the inning. But for Brebeuf, they come up with 4 runs on 4 base hits. 1 left on base. So we will head to the bottom of the 3rd with the score at 6-4. We have a report from down on the field. Here's Coach Keith Myers.
Thanks, Steve. With us now is Coach Al Reddy. He's the head coach of University of Indianapolis. You had a pretty good year.
Yes, very good year. We were 30-20 this year. Anytime you win 30 games in a college season, it's a good year for your guys, no question about it.
Told me off the air that if you won a game, you could have finished first, but you went from 1st to 9th. That's a bummer.
It wasn't just one game. It was a series that basically cost us. But, yeah, the league was tight this year. There was 3 games that separated 9 different teams, and unfortunately we didn't get in because of the tie-breaking criteria. So, yeah, but it was close. It was still a good year for us.
Day off, and you're here watching baseball. A lot of good talent in this conference and in the state of Indiana. Very good talent.
Yeah, there is a lot of very good baseball talent in the state of Indiana and the city of Indianapolis. There's no question about it. There's a lot that goes into recruiting, and part of the reason I like the Brebeufs and the Roncallis and the Chattards and schools like that is you tend to get very, very strong academic kids from those schools too as well, and that's part of the process, and let's face it, that's why you come to college. I hope they all get to the bigs and make $1 million, but they come to to college to get a degree, and that's the most important thing.
Well, if they make $1 million, we hope they donate it to Indiana SRN. Tell a little bit about internet radio. We've done internet radio, now webcast. It's got to be very successful for high school baseball.
Yeah, well, heck, I grew up listening to baseball on the radio. That was my first exposure to baseball on the radio. I remember as a kid, being able to get the Blue Jays on like AM 1290 or something like that, and the Tigers on AM 760. And back in those days, Ernie Harwell called the Tiger games by himself, and so I always listened to the Detroit Tigers. That's how I fell asleep every night as a kid. I love listening to baseball on the radio.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks very much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Steve, he remembers you playing back in the day, too, and he didn't think you could hit it out to 385. He thought maybe 85.
Keith, that was in 1963, well before his time, all right, at Southport High School. We go to the third inning here, bottom of the three. Noblesville Trophy is proud to be a presentation and sponsor for Indiana SRN. Call them at 317-773-7391. NoblesvilleTrophies.com. Thad, we're getting a pitching change for Brebeuf. Adam Hartung will come in to relieve the starter, Shane Bauer. Numbers on Hartung this year: 22 innings pitched, 1-1 on the season, 14 walks and 24 strikeouts, with an ERA of 3.39.
And Steve, down in the Ron Colley bullpen right now, Ryan Henry now warming up for the Rebels.
Well, Hartung gets off to a great start by striking out the first batter, John Truxell. And that'll bring up Braden Spinelli. Braden Spazzelli, who was brought up from the junior varsity team about 3 weeks ago, has been a big hit. Will bat here in the third inning. Singled and scored a run back in the second. The right-hander, Hartung, on the hill, both feet on the rubber as he comes to the plate. Here's a ball hit into left field on the nose, and coming in to make the grab for the first out of the inning is Anthony Ani. How about that, Thad Van Deventer?
Pretty good grab there from Ani. That's one of those where line drive is right at the outfielder. Those are the toughest ones for them to judge, and a nice job there from Ani. You see, he kind of took a little bit of an angle at it. That way he can kind of pick up exactly where that baseball is. Nice job coming in and laying out for it.
Yeah, on the dusk here, and the lights are on, of course. 2 down in the inning. By the way, Cole Hartung has moved to second base for Brebeuf. The younger brother of Aiden goes right through it on the swing for a strike. 1-1. We are in the bottom half of the third inning. Ron Colley with a 6-4 lead over Brebeuf. And trots down to third base.
2 quick outs here in the inning for Brebeuf. It would be very nice for the Braves if they could actually get a 1-2-3 inning here on the defensive side and come back to the plate.
6 plated back in the first, and 8 came to the plate in the second. So first 2 men up are outs. Called strike. Good breaking ball. Aaron Kroll had a little conversation with his second baseman, Grannon. Up halfway up the line there to have a little talk. Chokes up on the bat. On this 1-2 count. Coming. Down low for a ball. Of course, this is the last game of these for these 2 teams before we head into sectional play of next week. We'll give you those matchups as the game goes forward. But ball hits him on the top of the helmet as he's aboard.
On you. Number 17, the catcher, Brian Keeney.
Back to the top of the order goes Brian Keeney. He's 2 for 2 today and scored a couple of runs.
For Hartung there with Graham up to the plate. Not one you want to just give away like that. You want to have him kind of earn his way to first base before the top of the order comes up, and Brian Keeney.
This pitch is a called strike. Rebuff will be hosting its own 3A sectional next week. That will begin on Wednesday. Here's a throw over to first base, back in time. In fact, they got a bye in the first round. The first games will have Greencastle up against Tri-West, and then Ritter will take on Danville, and then Brebeuf will wait for the winner of that Greencastle and Tri-West game. Again, that will be played at Brebeuf. Goes down to second base on a stolen base, so Ron Colley in business once again with the base runner.
Good pitch there from Hartung.
Yep. Pretty good speed, too. Granted, so runner in scoring position with Keeney at the plate, always a dangerous hitter. Hartung, and he swings and misses, and down go the Rebels here in the third inning. In the inning, no runs on no hits and one left on base. After 3 complete now, it's Ron Colley 6, Brebeuf 4.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Top of the 4th inning here, Circle City Conference Championship game, and our 4th inning here brought to us by College Hunks and Movers. Moving what you want, removing what you don't. College Hunks Movers. Steve McClure will be at your door.
Take away all that stuff. I wish they would actually come to my garage when I'm not looking. But that'd be a little too dangerous. Sylvia tries to do that all the time to me, Thad, and I said, you leave my stuff alone.
That is my domain out there in the garage.
Well, half that stuff is sports, so you got to leave it alone. Those are the archives that go way back. So.
You know, my son and I, Steve, just added a little new design, new artwork to our garage just the other day. We just put all the cool stuff out in the garage. That's where we hang out. But got ourselves a nice checkered flag with the IMS winged wheel logo. Hung that in the garage the other day. We're ready for race day, pal.
You don't have one of those like sofas that I can come over and lay down and watch sports on, do you?
No, not yet. I mean, in the living room, yes, but not in the garage.
Ron Colley's going to get a pick and change here as Eric Hamo will give way to Mr. Ryan Henry, sophomore. And he is a left-hander, so things are going to change up now for Brebeuf. They've been looking at a right-hander over the last 3 innings. Now the motion will completely change. And you'll have to get used to this lefty coming your way. So on the way to the plate comes Anthony Ane, the left fielder. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. This Brebeuf team not about to go away quietly. Trailing Ron Colley 6-4. And that was the first inning that Ron Colley was shut down in the 3rd, so that was big. Henry, long and lanky with that left hand coming to the plate. I love left-handers. They do so much for the game. Here's a ball hit into center, left center, going to fall into the gap, and on his way to second base with a stand-up double is Ane, and he will stop right there. Boy, he really got into that thing. And on the way, all the way to the 385 spot and easily into second base that.
And a nice job there unintentionally by Henry backing up that play. He probably should have been over backing up third base there, but an overthrow from the outfielder. But Ane was all over that ball, drilling it into the gap. And after we saw Brebeuf really struggle in those first 2 innings, Steve, they have really gotten hot here with the sticks.
Yep, they had 4 hits back in the 3rd inning, including 3 singles and a triple, and those 3 RBIs delivered by Jack Moretnik to clear the bases. Here's an attempted bunt, and it is hit the plate. They'll bring it back.
I'm going to say it was a foul.
Yep. So he jumps out of the box, and let's see if we'll have a little discussion here between Keeney and the home plate umpire. All is well.
Keeney trying to say that he hit that ball while it was in fair territory. The umpire saying no, it hit him when he was still in the box, declaring it a foul ball.
I think it's a good call. Runner at second base, no one out. We are in the top half of the 4th inning. If you're just joining us on SRN, Steve McClure along with that Van Deventer. Here's a bunt up the first base line. Looks good, easily. Now it gets it onto first base for the out. He bobbled it just for a moment, Henry, but able to come up with it and relay onto first for the first out. Heads up play.
Yeah, nice job to stay calm there and get that out. But, nice job there from Pickett, moving that runner over to third. So another scoring chance here with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Gabe Wright. A couple of knocks already for him. See if he can drive in a run here for the Braves.
Well, if I'm Coach Rick Scott, I'm happy that this young man is, Jeff Scott that is, coming to the plate right now. He's 2 for 2 on the day, scored a run. Hitting from the right side with a runner in scoring position at third. Ane, of course, advanced on that little bunt attempt, sacrifice that was put down there by Pickett. So let's see what Wright can do here.
See what Coach Scott wants to do here. If the contact play is on, the corners for the Rebels are in. Middle infielders still back.
Here's a ball hit into, it's going to be straight up in the air. Second baseman coming on and will make the catch. Nice play out there at second by Granite for the first out of the inning. So Wright is retired. That'll be second out. So the runner remains at third base.
Shane Bauer.
Here's Shane Bauer. Walked and singled and scored a run back in the third. Trying to help his team right here. Bauer, of course, was the starting pitcher today. Went 2 innings. Again, no wind at all. American flag straight down in center field with the lights on. Time called. Ball gets away out of the Brebeuf dugout now. They'll retrieve it. Umpires have done a good job here today. To the plate, Henry. Outside misses. Takes a count to 2-1. There are 2 outs in the inning. Ane, who doubled to lead off the inning, stands at third base. Getting himself a good lead coming down the line. Down low, gets away from Keeney momentarily, but he retrieves it. No issues.
Hitters count now for Bauer, 3-1 with 2 outs. You're probably going to be sitting on a fastball here, green light. If Henry puts one in his zone, he's going to let it rip.
Bauer waits. Henry delivers again, foul off to the right side.
You can kind of tell from his reaction after that foul ball. That's exactly what he thought he wanted, right where he wanted it, just missed it.
Henry back on the rubber, looking in. Keeps that glove right in his face there. Looks like Clayton Kershaw a little bit. To the plate he comes. Ball hits easily to second baseman. This could be trouble. And he comes up with it, and the put out at first base. Good defensive play there at second by Nathan Grannon. And the inning is retired for the Brebeuf Braves in the fourth. No runs on 1 hit and no errors and 1 left on base after 3.5 It's Roncalli 6, Braybaugh 4.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
College Hunks 4th inning here on Indiana SRN. Speaking of hunks, let's get it down to Keith Myers.
I do have a hunk with me. It's Dave Lauck, the athletic director of Roncalli. He was hiding in the concession stand getting popcorn. That's why Jerry couldn't talk to me. Hey, you had softball tonight, too, today.
Yeah, we did. We hosted 3 softball games, and we're able to determine the 5th place, 3rd place, and 1st place finishers today, and it was a good day of softball.
This is going to be kind of cool. Is this going to be continue on and on and on? Is this going to be the norm at the last week of the season, having this tournament?
I would say yes. The crowd response, the intensity of the crowd and the intensity of the players and the teams has been awesome, and that's really what we want to see. Competition, intensity, good sportsmanship, obviously. So, yeah, if we can keep this going, we will.
How about statewide coverage today with Indiana SRM with the semifinal of Game 2 and the championship game tonight? A lot of people watching who probably didn't know anything about this conference.
Look, you're talking about, not just tonight's coverage or the semifinals coverage, but, a conference that's one of the top conferences in the state of Indiana in baseball. And not just baseball, but for Indiana SRN to come in and cover this game is awesome. It's awesome for our kids. It's awesome for our communities. And I certainly see this growing in the future.
Let's talk real quick softball. You guys have a tough sectional haul at Roncalli. You got 200 wins. How about sectional play? What do you think?
Well, Decatur Central has dominant pitching, the most dominant pitching in the state of Indiana. And there's no question about that. And we're an above-average hitting team. So if you do the math there, we're the underdogs, and I'm okay with that. We've been practicing very intentionally to score 2 or 3 runs on them if we can, and if we can do that, I like our chances.
He's an underdog, guys, but he likes to play, and we want to thank your hospitality. The popcorn's really good. Thank you for the hamburger as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for being here. This is an awesome day, and we're just so blessed to have you guys here.
Thank you, David Lauck, one of our favorite guys from Roncalli, Director of Athletics, who's been in the system for quite some time, who relieved Dave Toner, the previous AD at Roncalli, and he's always on top of things, in addition to being the head coach for the softball team for the Rebels. Hit by a pitch to lead off the inning was Tommy Hanson. He stands at first base, and now Don Brown is at the plate waiting. Aiden Hartung in his 2nd inning of work. And it's Beckman, excuse me. Thank you. Missed out on all that activity down on the field there, Thad. Runner going, he's safe at second base. So Hanson slides in safely.
While Keith was talking downstairs, we missed out up here.
All right.
A really nice play by Shane Bauer. Now he's moved over to first base on the pop-up from Brown. It's kind of no man's land out in foul territory, kind of shallow right, extended first base, and he made a nice over-the-shoulder catch over in foul territory for that first out. That's how Beckman comes up to the dish here.
Thank you for catching us up, Thad. Kind of got into a freeze moment there, so we're good.
You got caught up in that softball talk. I saw you nodding your head.
That's right. David Lauck, again, he's one of my favorite guys, and been around him for quite some time, and just a special, special individual in what he does here at Roncalli, not only athletically but academically, and what they do for the kids day in and day out at this wonderful parochial school here on the south side. So good to spend time with him again today. To the plate they come. Swing and a miss. And down on strikes he goes. Beckman. That'll be the second out of the inning. So Brave Buff doing an outstanding job here in innings 3 and 4 defensively. And now coming to the plate is Henry. Singled his last time up with a runner at second base in scoring position. If you're just joining us, we're in the bottom half of the fourth with Roncalli leading Brave Buff in this Circle City Conference Championship 6-4. Roncalli had a 6-0 lead back in the second, but that has kind of evaporated. Henry waiting. Bluff throw back to second. Earlier today, Thad, Jimmy Cook and I were commenting on the fact that they have the sound partition out there on I-65 to kind of deaden the sound, but you still see the tops of all these semis going south and north.
Those 16-wheelers trucking along.
That's a busy, busy highway. I'm glad we're on this side of it.
Ran into a little bit of that last night. At 65 northbound right now, headed into downtown, closed down nights and weekends for some renovations.
Well, Thad, there are a ton of people in town getting ready for the 103rd running of the Indianapolis 500 a week from tomorrow.
And you were talking about qualifications earlier. One Mr. Spencer Piggott. I think he's
on the pole right now.
He's the lone guy in the area saying, "Hey, this rain tomorrow does not sound like a bad idea" to him.
Yeah, he's an Andretti guy, isn't he?
I think Spencer is a Ed Carpenter ECR.
Is he? Oh boy, that is even better.
I know that ECR had all three of their cars qualify for the Fast 9 tomorrow, so Ed Carpenter and the boys, they're looking to be on the pole again.
The defending champion, Will Power, he's up there in the Fast 9 for tomorrow, along with Alexander Rossi. So it's going to be a busy day unless thunder showers come crashing.
The other end of the spectrum, too, Steve, could be pretty interesting.
Oh, my. Here's a base hit into left field. Runner going to come home. There's going to be a cutoff at the shortstop position, and one just like that. It is Stroud delivering on a base hit and an RBI. The run comes home, and now it is a 7-4 game.
Good nice piece of hitting there by Stroud. Gets his pitch.
Yep.
Shoulders back. What I like to see from especially some of these guys from Roncalli today, they've gotten pretty good hip action when they're at the plate swinging. Get those hips through, get those hands through, generate some power from your core.
And that ball cleanly into left field because Andrew Pickett was moving from his shortstop position to cover second, so no one was there as it trickled into left field. There are 2 outs in the inning, but Roncalli has pushed across a run to make it 7-4 now.
He's going to finish my thought real quick, Steve. On the other end of the spectrum, there's a couple of big name guys on the outside looking in right now of the 500, so that could be interesting too.
As the ball gets away from the catcher, Farlander, and down to third base, and everybody. Another pass ball going to be charged against Farlander, and now the runners at second and third. Still 2 outs in the inning. So Roncalli threatening once again here in the fourth. After going quietly in the third. Called strike, hits the outside corner. Roncalli, of course, is slotted into the Class 4A Southport sectional that will begin next week. They, too, got a bye and will place the Cardinals on Friday night. Avery Short due to go for the Southport Cardinals, one of the most scouted players in the state of Indiana.
I wouldn't narrow that scope to just Indiana, Steve.
Yeah, all over the country. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Here comes the ball, going to get to the backstop, and a run going to come home. So just like that, we're going to get a wild pitch, and on that play, it'll be Henry coming home, and they will move up once again on the runners. Stroud to third base. So Hartung running into trouble here. in this inning. 2 runs across. Still 2 out in the inning. Oh boy, almost hit him.
Man, you're talking about high and tight.
Yep. Troxel holding his ground in there and steps right back in, crowds the plate.
I'm not real sure how that even missed Troxel.
And a little bit of a conversation going on here between the home plate umpire and their Brebeuf bench.
That's a warning, an official warning from the home plate umpire to the Brebeuf dugout.
A little bit of cackling down there.
A little
What do you
bit.
call that? There's a ball hit down the third base
He's
line.
gonna say it's
gonna
foul.
be foul. He's going to hit call foul. Boy, that was close.
He made that call quick, though, Steve. He was all over it right there. Gonna stand by that decision.
Yeah, Maratnik moving to his right, making a diving to get the stop there, but it is a foul ball, so everyone will retrieve, come back to the positions they were in, and Stroud will remain at third, Troxel at the plate with a 3-2 count. 2 runs are in here in the inning for the Roncalli Rebels. Steps out momentarily. It's that practice swing, now back in. Hartung to the plate. Breaking ball. Fouled off toward the Roncalli dugout. Here's that play at third base that is ruled a foul ball. Wow, he got into it big time. And there's the throw down there. You see the Aaron Kroll saying fair, 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 but the umpire says no, 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 and the ball goes to the backstop, and it is a ball, and another base on balls given up by Brebeuf. So the inning continues here for Roncalli.
Go back to that foul ball, Steve. That one, from our vantage point, very tough to see. We're not quite on the line there, but the umpire, he stepped out right away, said it was foul. He was very demonstrative in what he saw and what he called, so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
7th man to come to the plate here for Roncalli. Spazzelli at the plate now, the DH. The freshman steps in for the 3rd time tonight. Single, scored a run back in the 2nd, and flied out in the 3rd. A lot of promise for this young man. Talked to Rob Brown about this young guy. Very impressive in the way he's worked his way up to the varsity team. Has good size too, Thad, for a young guy of 15 years of age.
Pretty good looking prospect here for the Rebels.
Yep. Spazzelli waits from the right side. Here's the pitch by Hartung. Goes outside on a breaking ball. Just can't break it off just enough here, so count goes to 2-1.
The other thing you gotta like about Braden is this is the second time, this is his 3rd at bat. Second time he's worked the count pretty deep too, so he's a patient hitter.
Hartung inside, called strike. Good pitch. Hartung coming right at him. Spazzelli holding his ground. Count goes now to 2-2-2.
Game's now an hour and 30 minutes.
1 hour and 30 minutes into the game. And we are still in the 4th inning, so it's kind of coming to a little bit of a drag here, Thad. A number of hitters. They're going to charge him with a balk.
Called stolen base.
Stolen base. All right. No play made, so they will score it as an SB. All right. Thank you. Swing and a miss. Takes the
They're gonna
count.
say it was a foul tip there from.
Yeah, just barely got a piece. So the count remains at 2-2. And 2 runs in to make it an 8-4 game in favor of the Rebels. Spazzelli. Here's a ball hit down the third base line. Gets away from the third. Going to bring in 1 run. Here comes a second. And on the double for Spazzelli and 2 more RBIs And now the Rebels have stretched the lead to 10-4.
Well, we talked about Spizzelli, even for a young guy, he's able to go deep into the count, work the count. He gets it to 2-2, gets a pitch he can handle right down the third baseline. We saw that happen just a second ago. Just foul for Roncalli. This time sneaks just inside third base. Tough play for the third baseman. Tried to backhand it, couldn't handle it. Couple of RBIs there for the freshman.
And Spizzelli rounding first. No hesitation about going into second with that slide, and he's in there with a double and 2 more RBIs to make it 10-4. So just when you thought Brebeuf was going to come back here, now they drop behind once again by 6 runs. Hartung trying to get out of this thing with 2 outs. Aiden in relief of the starting pitcher, Shane Bauer. Now in his second inning of work, and it's an in-pitch pitch, goes all the way to the backstop. I thought it almost hit him.
It was close.
So we're going to score that as a wild pitch. Spizzelli will move on down to third base. So this game has been filled with all kinds of just mental mistakes. And that happens occasionally when you see a young team like this. So, of course, it can handle to the veterans as well, but wild pitches, pass balls, errors, they mount up, Thad.
And, you know, people watching this at home probably don't care, but these are what you would say are not clean scorecards here today, Steve.
No, and mine is getting to be a big mess, so thus far I can still read it.
Yeah, so far, right?
So far. And we got still 3 innings to go. So 10-4 in favor of the Roncalli Rebels. Leading Brebeuf here. Yes, sir. Called strike, and he's down. So Grannon goes quietly on the called strike, but in the inning, Roncalli pushes across 4 more runs to make it 10-4. Back in a moment on SRN.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You know, you can see babies sucking their thumbs, you can see them running their hands over their heads.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides that she's better to go on her own without that baby.
Fifth inning tonight here, Circle City Conference Championship game, Roncalli and Brebeuf. But our fifth inning tonight brought to us by our friends at Bertner Electric. Short circuits can zap you. Play it safe with Bertner Electric.
Has this Brebeuf team been short-circuited? We're going to find out very soon here as they lead off this top half of the fifth inning. Again, Ryan Henry is in relief for Roncalli. The starters are long gone, Thad.
Yeah, both of the starters tonight did not last deep into the game. Both of the guys really racked up pretty high pitch totals early in those first couple of innings. So going to be a battle of the bullpens right now. Hartung did a nice job when he first came in. Gave up 4 runs, however, last inning for Brebeuf. Now Henry trying to kind of settle things down here for Roncalli on the mound. He threw just 12 pitches last inning, Steve. If he can kind of replicate that here in the fifth, the Rebels could be well on their way.
So coming up in this inning for Brebeuf, they'll send Shane Swinson to the batter's box right now. He'll be followed by Jack Moretnik and then Carl Meyer. We are in the top half of the fifth inning, and again, thank you for joining us tonight on Indiana Sports Radio Network. Steve McClure along with Thad Van Deventer and our executive producer. Jerry Collins and Coach Keith Myers down on the field, providing us with some inside looks as to what's going on around the state of Indiana. Baseball, softball, you name it.
Keith down there roaming around.
He likes it.
Probably eating already 4 to 5 bags of popcorn.
He's the king as far as popcorn connoisseurs, I believe.
I've been telling him this for a while. I want to get you guys on board. I think next season, when we're here and we're covering all these different games across Indiana with Keith Myers, I think every game he goes to, we should have a little segment where he rates the popcorn at every venue.
That sounds good.
What do you think? A little Keith Myers popcorn rating.
That could be a feature in its own each and every week.
I mean, that would go. You want to talk about something going viral on social media? That's what it would be.
So, you know, our custom thing on Friday night during the fall is Friday Night Football. Now we could go with
Friday Night Popcorn.
That's right, with Keith Myers. How about that? Having a little fun here in the booth. We kind of like this game. Previous 2 appearances in the at-bat, Swanson has grounded out and struck out. It's an opportunity here in the 5th. Greg Buff, and he was awarded first base on a walk. So once again, Greg Buff will get something going here to lead off the inning. They were able to come up with a nice 4-run rally back in the 3rd inning to narrow the score to 6-4, but Ron Colley has come back in a big way with 4 runs in the 4th to take a 10-4 lead.
And Marechnik was the guy that had that big hit in that 4-run third inning. He had the 3 RBI triple into the gap in right center field.
And Marechnik, again, one of the youngsters on this team, just a sophomore, stands on the left side and waiting. This one's down low. Marechnik puts up his right hand to indicate stay right there. And he does.
He's 1 for 2 today. We talked about that triple. Struck out his first time up.
Henry with a long look to first base. Comes to the plate with a breaking ball.
Big, slow curveball there from Henry. That was nice. You were talking earlier. He puts his glove over his face like Clayton Kershaw. That was a hook that even Kershaw would have been proud about.
All you can see are the eyes. And that's all the batter can see as well. So here he comes once again. This ball hit in the left field. This could be trouble down the line, and it is a foul ball. Needed a little help to bring it back in, but no.
That lefty, Marechnik, he floats it down there, but put a little bit too much slice on it. If you're a tennis fan, you know what that's like, and that one just kind of sailed just in the foul territory.
He got the meat on the bat there. There's a nice contact made. So Marechnik will come back with a 1-2 count here. No one out in the inning, top of the 5th.
Just 265 is batting average on the season, but he's had some really good-looking swings today.
Here's a mound, hit the second baseman, on to short for 1. Not going to be in. He did get him at first base. Boy, that was a close call at first, and that is the second double play turn by Ron Colley on the day, so they clear the bases. I don't know. That was a close play at first base.
Coach Scott out to have a word.
Yep.
Here's the replay.
Here comes the replay on this grounder. Well, he had crossed the bag, but umpire had a little better view of it than we did. They'll back it up just a moment. And I don't know, Thad. That was close. Very close.
Tough to tell.
Yep, but they're going to call him out.
Play.
And now we're going to have a conversation between the base umpire and the home plate umpire as they come down to discuss this. I'm sure that Coach Jeff Scott has asked for an appeal on that play, but it was a tough call. So the difference would be either a runner remaining at first or 2 outs here in the inning and no one aboard.
I do like that they are going to talk about it.
Yep.
They're gonna stick with the original call. They're gonna call him out, but I do like that they had the discussion, Steve.
All right. So on that put out at second and on to first base.
Right fielder Carl Meyer.
Retnick is out, as well as Sean Swenson at second on the force, and that'll bring up Carl Meyer. Here in the fifth inning, ball hit into center field, and camping under it for Ron Colley.
He couldn't see it.
And he cannot kind it, and it's going to drop in. So I don't think he ever had an eye on it. Base hit. So we saw Hansen move toward it, with the darkness settling in the outfield out there, and again, just could not come up with it.
Well, you talked about it, Steve. The light's on here. Sun not completely set. No clouds in the sky tonight, so you kind of have a light blue type of sky here on the south side. Easy to lose a ball. If you cannot pick it up immediately off the bat and you're just searching up in the sky, you're not going to find it up there.
Yeah. A little unusual, though. Again, Hansen, a fantastic outfielder, fielding-wise, but again, I just never saw it. Here comes Aiden Hartung to the plate for the third time tonight. So that double play looms big here, but still one runner on here for Brebeuf on that single officially. Meyer with a good lead at first base. Henry to the plate, 2-1 now. Pitch is inside for a ball. So Brebeuf trying to make something happen here with 2 outs in the inning. They trail 10-4 in this Circle City Baseball Conference Championship. Thanks for having us along tonight. There's a ball way up high, so he reaches first on a base on balls. That's the second walk given up in the inning by Henry. So the inning will continue.
It's one of those two. If you're head coach Kroll for Ron Colley, got a 6-run lead. You just got a double play. Yeah, you kind of give up a fluky single right there, but that's when you're going to talk to Henry when he comes in the dugout, and you're going to say, man, we got a 6-run lead. We got to make sure that we're pounding that strike zone as much as possible. You don't want to just, throw a couple meatballs in there, but make sure you're pounding that strike zone. Make these guys earn it. Free passes is an easier way for them to find their way back into the game.
Here's a called strike. Again, no reason to waste any pitches here with a 10-4 lead. Just bring it. Farlander at the plate for the third time tonight, singled and grounded out. So let's see if Henry can coax a grounder here. This ball way outside on a breaking ball does not catch anything. And bring it back into the strike zone, but that is Keeney. Takes the count to 1-1. There are 2 outs here in the inning for Brebeuf. Looking back to second and now to the plate down low. Spectacular weather weekend here in Indianapolis. A busy, busy day out at the track. 30 qualifiers. Tomorrow will be Fast 9. Got a favorite, Thad, this year?
Oh, that's a good
That's a
question.
hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, proven over the past few years that Ed Carpenter Racing, his whole entire team, always fast in the month of May. They haven't really had a lot of luck on race day, but I still like those cars to be pretty quick. Obviously, kind of the Cinderella story for next weekend would be if Marco Andretti were to win.
I was getting ready to say that.
50th anniversary of Mario's win. So I honestly, right now, I think there's a there's probably 14 to 15 cars I would say would be in the. Another guy that I like, his team, AJ Foyt's team, has had a couple of pretty quick cars with Tony Kanaan in there, and Mateus Lease finished 4th at the Grand Prix. So
it may be that Fernando Alonso is going to be on the outside looking in. The McLaren special and Grand Prix driver. Here's a ball hit in right field. Second baseman going out to make the catch, and the inning will come to a close. For Brebeuf here in the top half of the 5th inning. No runs on 1 hit and no errors, and 2 men left on base after 4.5.
I'm ready.
It's Roncalli 10 and Brebeuf 4.
Guys, just want to let you know that Indiana SRN will bring lacrosse to the airways on May 31st at 6 and 8 o'clock, the 2 semifinals. And then on June 1st at 6 o'clock, the championship game right here on the Indiana SRN as we continue our coverage during the spring. The rank of popcorn, I would give the Roncalli concession stand an 8.5. Probably the best popcorn I had today. So back up to you guys. It's been a fun time down here.
Coach, just curious before you get away at that play at first base on that double play ball, that was tight, wasn't it?
I plead the 5th, Steve. I used to wear blue. So
I'm not asking you for an opinion. I just want you to comment on how close it was.
It was close enough that I would not call out. How about that?
All right, we'll leave it at that.
But I will tell you this, my new glasses worked really well, so I focused in on it really well.
We are going to the bottom half of the 5th inning with Roncalli coming to the plate. Just a reminder, this inning is being brought to you by Bertner Electric, one of our long-standing sponsors since the get-go. So here we go. Roncalli will come to the plate, leading by the score of 10-4. Roncalli with a 15-8 record as we come into tonight's game. Getting ready for sectional play of next week when they'll travel over to Holder Field to be hosted by the Southport High School Cardinals. Set that up for you.
You were talking earlier about Southport and Avery Short.
Yep.
We didn't get into too much detail. So Avery, a left-handed pitcher, top prospect, or one of the top prospects around, and
he's wicked.
He was on Team USA. I think it was the 18 under team. Is that right?
That's correct.
Steve, yeah. He got a live arm, as they say.
I've seen him pitch 3 different occasions this year, and on each occasion, Thad, there were in excess of 20 scouts there watching him. So that tells you a little bit about how much value they have in him. So, and as soon as he came out of the game, they all left.
Had to go find somewhere else to go, you know?
Unfortunately for Southport, basically they've had a tough season beyond Avery Short. So, and he's just a fine young man too, very, very humble. I had a chance to visit with him on occasion. Here's a ball up the middle and scooped up at shortstop and on to first, but he's going to be called safe. Boy, that was a great throw at Andrew Pickett, who picked it up at short and on to first, but it is a base hit.
That'll be a single in the books for Kenny. That's going to be his second hit of the night. Third time on base for him. A really nice play by Pickett at shortstop. Keeney just with just enough speed to get to that bag before Pickett could get that throw over to first.
It looks like Scott's going to come to the mound and take the baseball away from Hartung, and we're going to get a pitching change coming. We'll get a number and a change here for the Braves, and it looks to be number 14, and he pitched in this morning's game for Brebeuf. That is Sam Reed, another freshman on this team. Yeah, here's a close play on the replay here on SRN. Again, a very nice throw, hard throw. So it'll be the third pitcher of record now for Brebeuf, that as Sam Reed will come on in relief. He too a left-hander.
Sam Reed on the season, Steve, 21 innings pitched, a record of 0-1. He's allowed just 6 earned runs, 10 runs given up on the year. 16 hits, 13 walks allowed, and 23 strikeouts in his 21 innings.
So we did see him earlier today when he was able to close out the game against Guerin Catholic in that final 7th inning as the Golden Eagles sent 1, 2, and 3 batters to the plate, all retired, and that's when the celebration began in the 6-5 upset victory for Brebeuf today. One of the most exciting games I've seen all season long. So, let's see what the Rebels have in mind here. Still in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Tommy Hansen coming to the plate for the Rebels. 3rd time up today. Scored 3 runs, Thad. He's been a busy guy.
Been on base several times. Top of the lineup here for Roncalli. Keeney and Hansen in particular, 1 and 2 in the batting order. Each of them has been on base 3 times now. Hansen's been on base all 3 times he's been up to the plate so far tonight. They have done some damage. They've scored 10 runs. 5 of those 10 runs have been scored by Keeney and Hansen.
And I look at both my score sheet and your score sheet, and we see that diamond right in the middle of each batter. And when you blacken that in, you know what that means.
That's
he
a run.
scored.
Hansen has scored 3 runs. He's got 2 RBI tonight. And you know what he's going to think about after this game, Steve? He's going to think about, how did I not pick up that fly ball in center field?
Going to have to be long forgotten. I think they're going to have to ignore that and let it go. So
Baseball is funny like that.
It is.
It's a team sport, but some aspects of it are very individualistic, and Hansen's probably going to beat himself up about that a little bit.
No one will speak of it except perhaps him.
Yeah.
And he's going to go home tonight, and hopefully Mom and Dad are going to say, what happened out there? And he'll say, we won the game. That's what happened out there. Game not over, though. Bottom half of the 5th with Roncalli on top, 10-4. Squares to bunt. Lets it go for a called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike now. Keeney at first.
Always loved that move, Steve. 3-0. Everyone knows you're not going to bunt it, but you still show it. Just trying to psych out the pitcher.
Yeah, give him the green light. There's a ball hit up the first base line. I'm going to attempt to bunt and no. So we'll do it again.
That time he did try to bunt it.
He did.
That's like the double psych out move.
Yeah.
Double secret agent stuff right there.
Especially with a 10-4 lead, but again, playing fundamental baseball. Perhaps going a little bit of small ball, which is my expertise. Get on base, steal a base, sacrifice to third, come home. Fouled straight back.
Good hack there from Hansen. Full count. Expecting a fastball from Reed. Got it. Just missed it.
We talked about the Indy 500, that in terms of favorite drivers, and I noticed Marco this year has a bright red car. Beautiful. Here's a ball hit into center field. Going to be for a base hit, and Hansen is aboard. Now 2 runners on at first and second, and no one out.
That might be the hardest hit ball we've seen tonight so far, Steve.
And he really cracked it, didn't he? Getting it by the relief pitcher.
Marco's car, obviously, Steve, is a little throwback paint scheme from when Mario won in 1969.
You know, in that game, in that victory for Marco, I believe he won that thing with over a 2-minute lead. If I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right.
Kind of ran away with it.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the 500, Steve, but I mean, the calendar used to always always think about October being that sports month, right? Because you would have you'd be in football, you'd have baseball playoffs, you've got the NBA and the NHL starting up. Now May, you've got the 500, They moved the PGA Championship to May, so you've got that. Baseball is in full swing. You've got NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, and May may have overtaken October as the best month for sports.
Well, one of those favorite times of the year, and I go way back to it in terms of the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks playing in the NBA playoffs, because that I used to go directly from the Speedway to Market Square Arena, change shirts, and become a second sport on the day. Those were exciting days. So ball hit up the first base line, and he's going to be called safe at third. So the bases will be loaded. Good bunt up that first base line, and they elected to go to third on the potential force out there, but no.
So fielder's choice on that one.
Yes, sir.
Now bases loaded with nobody out.
Wow.
And you don't want to think too far ahead here, Steve, but bottom 5 here with the score 10-4.
I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking.
I think Cole Beckman was thinking the same thing we were thinking there with that swing.
That's all it would take, wouldn't it? So Beckman on the day struck out a couple times and flied out to center. They'll brush off the home plate and clean it up a little bit. It's been a warm day in the city. Humidity way up the line as well, and very little wind. Again, American flag straight down in center field. Plays outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now. Sam Reed on in relief for Brebeuf, the 3rd pitcher of record today for the Braves. Hartung was the 2nd in relief from the starter Shane Bauer, who only went 2 innings. And Ron Colley exploding for 4 runs back in that 2nd to take a 6-0 lead. And they are threatening once again here with no one out and the bases loaded. Ball right back to Henry. Can't make a play. He'll come home and the run will score. And it is a base hit up the line, so the inning will continue. So Keeney comes home for the 11th run of the game for Ron Colley. Still no one out. The attempted throw to first base not in time. So Thad, continuation of this rebel force, I guess you might say, here in this inning.
That's just kind of a hard luck or bad luck play there by Reed. A nice job to kind of get back in fielding position and knock it down, but didn't get quite enough of it. Falls behind the mound, kind of in no man's land, and Beckman able to leg it out, beat the throw, keep everything moving along with nobody out.
A little bit of a bobble there at the mound as he tried to get a grasp on it, and finally came up with it his left hand to make the throw, but it was too late. So 1 run in, it's 11-4 now, Ron Colley. Bases remain jammed.
Henry 1 for 2 on the night, also reached base on a walk last inning, scored a run.
Way outside, and Sam Reed turning up the velocity a little bit on that fastball.
Henry's got to be sitting for a heater right here.
3-1. To the plate, breaking ball inside, just barely foul tipped. Takes the count to 3-2.
That was way in on his hands.
Yeah, well, he crowds. Look at his feet up there. About 10 inches away from the chalk line with that front foot forward. Strike 3, and he is retired. That is a huge out.
Big strike out there for Reed.
That'll give Mr. Reed a little bit of confidence as he brings up the next hitter and Stroud. Stroud's had a good night. Singled and scored a run. Hit by a pitch back in the 1st inning and struck out. Has an RBI in the game. First pitch is inside for a ball. Ball straight up in the air. Center fielder coming on. Has he got a beat on it? He does.
Check out his arm.
Gabe Wright, throw to the plate, not in time, and the 12th run will cross the plate. So a sacrifice fly by Stroud. He gets another RBI on that. And the second out of the inning, as Wright puts it away.
Number 14.
Runners remain at first and third.
Troxel.
On the tag there on that run to come in.
Nice job there by Brown. Don't want that to go unnoticed. Base running there to advance from second to third on that throw.
Outside for a ball. 2 runs are in here in the inning for Roncalli. They lead 12-4 over Brebeuf. Roncalli advancing to the championship game with an 8-1 victory earlier today against Bishop Chatard. And it was Brebeuf upsetting Guerin Catholic 6-5 on that late rally, provided by that 3-run home run by Gabe Wright. Right now, Brebeuf with 2 outs here in the inning, but still 2 runners aboard for the Rebels. Barely gets a piece of it as he swings through it.
Don't have a radar gun, but Reed has really been bringing some cheese tonight.
I think he's a little upset in terms of where they are right now, so kind of rearing back and letting it fly. With the stretch coming our way. Down low for ball. 2-1 now. Here in the 5th.
25 pitches now for Reed.
Roncalli trying to put this thing away. Brebeuf still with a couple of chances to come to the plate. Unless the Rebels can score a couple more runs here.
Good pitch there from Reed. 2-2, give himself an opportunity to get out of this inning.
In the 53rd annual IHSA Baseball State Tournament about to uncork itself next week on Wednesday. 4A sectional for these Roncalli Rebels will shift over to Southport, just a short distance away on Holder Field. Decatur Central will take on Perry Meridian. Ben Davis up against Pike in those first 2 games. Roncalli with a bye, and he goes down on strikes, and that will end the inning. But for Roncalli, they push across 2 more runs, and we have reached the end of 5 with our score. The Rebels 12 and Brebeuf 4.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Back here on Indiana SRN. Top of the 6th inning, 8-run lead for Roncalli. And a reminder, if you like what you're checking out, always know what's coming down the pike here on Indiana SRN by following us on Twitter at Indiana SRN. That's where you'll get all the updates on upcoming schedules. You can actually watch live webcasts through Twitter as well. So check it all out. Remember, at Indiana SRN. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow my partner Steve McClure on there as well.
S.R. McClure on the Twitter site.
One of the best follows on Twitter.
And I would invite everyone also to come and join us on Thursday night as we uncork the 4th edition of the Indiana Sports Zone. We've been having a good time, Thad, with Brett Young and myself, and along with Sean Kroll, who's been our host. And I'm sure we'll be bringing you up to date on all things sports this coming Thursday.
Yeah, you guys let me be a part of that on
Yes,
Thursday.
I did.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. And I told Sean, here's the ball hitting to the left field, going to be camping under out there for an easy out. And there's one down. Troxel with the put out. I started to say that to Sean before we went on the air last Thursday, Thad, when we were bringing you on for PGA Talk. I said, I think Thad and I could carry this entire 90 minutes. So he didn't let us do that. All right.
No, he did not. And honestly, I probably could have filled that entire 90 minutes only discussing the PGA Championship.
Yes, I agree with you because that's one of my favorite things, especially when it comes to the majors. And what we have seen in this PGA Championship is something special.
I mean, we could go on and on about just the nature of Brooks Koepka.
Third base line, picks it up on one hop, and there's two down in the inning. Nice play over there at third. Don Brown, quickly, 2 outs. Got one more day to play out there on Long Island at Bethpage Black. You got to put the black behind the Bethpage.
Have
because
to.
That's the toughest of the 6 courses there, Dan?
I think there's five courses.
And still a municipal course. And all you need is $70.
$75.
You can
You're on.
play golf. Got to line up early in the morning, though.
Yeah. Guys will camp out in their car.
That's what they do. They get out there about 10 o'clock at night, line up like they used to do out on 16th Street for the Indy 500. I can speak from experience about that. Out there at Indy on 16th Street. That was a young lad. Ball into right field and quickly 3 up and 3 down for Brebeuf here in the 6th inning with no runs coming across. After 5.5, it remains Roncalli 12, Brebeuf 4.
Craving comfort fresh food made from scratch daily? Check out Aspen Creek Grill. Located across from Hamilton Town Center and beside the Holiday Inn, we offer family farm-raised premium black Agnes steaks hand-cut daily, creamy pastas, salmon chicken, and fall-off-the-bone ribs. Start with our famous powwow shrimp appetizer, and don't miss our refreshing drinks. Family-friendly or a great night out with friends. Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, Noblesville. Call 317-559-3300.
Back here on Indiana SRN, our Aspen Creek Grill, 6th inning. Check out Aspen Creek Grill in Noblesville. Also check out the Powwow Shrimp, exit 210 off of Interstate I-69, Aspen Creek Grill.
We're going to get a pitching change here for Brebeuf. So we got a right-hander coming in. We'll catch his number here, number 25. And that escapes me as to rostered players on the conference championship 6-team roster. So let's try to find out who that young man is. 25?
25, I believe, is Max Cookerly.
All right. There he is down there. He escaped my view. Go ahead, Thad.
We talked about Twitter. That's how you can get the upcoming schedule of what's going to happen on Indiana SRN. You can also check out all of our webcast games on demand. Go to the website, check that out. On demand, all the coverage. So if you liked tonight's game, or if you're a super proud parent or grandparent of one of our stars of tonight, you can go back to indianasrn.org and check out the game on demand. Or you can send that link to everyone in the family so they can all check it out at a later date if they didn't catch it live here tonight.
That one of the greatest compliments that Indiana SRN received goes back several years now when we started doing Southport High School football. And that came from my sister Judy, who resides down in Kissimmee, Florida. She sent me a text as well as an email during the game saying, "Brother, I'm out on my patio having a glass of wine, listening to you broadcast Southport High School football. Both of us, of course, graduates of the Cardinal land. That was fun. 1,000 miles away, so it can happen. So many links between all these kids and their families. Oh my, ball really got away. So an attempted put out there at first base does not happen.
That was a good look there. Nice work there from the roof of the Roncalli dugout over there. JC doing a nice job tonight. Good look there as
that was Shane Bauer.
Bauer tried to make the play over there in front of the dugout. Long run, short pop, unable to haul that one in.
We are in the bottom half of the 6th inning with Roncalli up on the score of 12-4 over Brebeuf. Again, Max Cookerly on the hill now for Brebeuf, the 4th pitcher of record for the Braves. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes.
That looked like an old school changeup there.
It did.
From Cookerly.
Spazzelli is retired for the first out of the inning. And Grannon will come to the plate here for the 4th time today. He also has scored a run. He was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd, but Roncalli unable to come up with a run in that frame. The big inning, though, was transpired in the 4th when they pushed across 4 to go back up by 6 runs. There's a ball hit into short right field, and coming on to make the catch at second base is Cole Hartung. There are 2 out.
Catcher Brian Keeney.
Yeah, give him some loving. Grandma likes that shot right there.
Good look there at Cole.
He's a young guy, isn't he?
You talked about Brebeuf, how young this squad is, full of freshmen and sophomores, a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Get those bats going a little bit next year, and they've got some pretty solid arms too.
Let's count 1, 2, 3 seniors on this Brebeuf team. So much to look forward to, and Jeff Scott speaks very highly of them. And when you can get them in there that early, you know you got something coming. Outside pitch, 3-0.
Talking about kind of the coaching staff at Roncalli earlier for all the sports. Over at Brebeuf, you've got Coach Wrestler on the gridiron.
Oh, my.
My guy, Coach Howard, over there running the show for the men's basketball program. Coach Scott. Got some guys kind of know how to handle things there at Brebeuf.
So we'll get a new baseball, and again, hit by pitch with 2 down here in the inning. And Keeney, again, has had a spectacular day at the plate. He scored 3 runs and now resting at first here with 2 outs. 12-4, Roncalli. Hanson steps in on the right side. With an 8-run lead, I got to feel like that Keeney's going to hold the base there at first, especially with 2 outs.
See if Hanson can stay hot. Couple of hits, couple RBIs, scored 4 runs tonight.
Yep. Call strike there, good pitch by Cookerly, Max Cookerly. So no green light at first base. 2 strikes and 2 outs. Up high for a ball. 1-2.
I like that pitch. 0-2. Try to throw that fastball up about eye level. See if you can get him to chase after it.
Oh my! Again, hit pitch, and
they're gonna say no, sir.
He did not make an attempt to get out of the batter's box, and the umpire says get back in there. You got to make some attempt to move back. So the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Let's change that. There's a ball hit into right center field, and Gabe Wright is camping under for the third out of the inning. So Roncalli retired here in the bottom half of the sixth. No runs, no hits, and no errors, and one left on base. After 6 complete, it's Roncalli 12, Bray Buff 4.
After 6 innings, your score, Roncalli 12.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Head to the 7th inning now. Brebeuf trailing by 8. Got to get 8 on the board here to continue here. And our 7th inning tonight brought to us by Morales Group. Thanks to the Morales Group and their support of Indiana SRN. Also a reminder, lacrosse state semifinals and championship also coming up on Indiana SRN. That'll be Friday, May 31st. The championship the following day, Saturday, June 1st. Catch all the lacrosse action here on Indiana SRN, and that will actually be hosted at Brebeuf Jesuit High School on the northwest side of Indianapolis, right off 86th Street.
Thad, we have seen the rise in terms of lacrosse here in the state of Indiana, both on the boys and girls side, and perhaps in the coming future, the IHSAA is going to have to address that in terms of making it a sanctioned sport here in Indiana.
That was a proposal that came up this year from the IIAAA. It was voted down. The proposal was typically for sports to be sanctioned by the IHSAA. You have to have over 50% of the membership that is participating in such sports. The proposal was to have, I believe, 33% of the membership participating in the sport. That was voted down.
Yeah.
That would have allowed sports such as boys and girls lacrosse or even boys volleyball possibly to be considered.
Well, boys volleyball's been hanging out for quite some time there, waiting for that to be sanctioned. Another sport that's getting a lot of play right now is bowling. So that could be in the offing as well. So we were talking with one of the assistants on our production crew today, who is a graduate of Roncalli here in the coming days. She is on that bowling team, so headed to Taylor University. She was a big help to us today, Teresa. So thanks for being here. In a very hot and sunny day, did a terrific job for us. One of those Rob Brown recommendations coming to us.
Those normally pan out.
Yes, they do. Jerry Collins called me up on the phone and said, what are we going to do? I said, well, the first thing we're going to do is text Rob Brown. And
let's check in with Rob.
And he did. He came right through for us.
Speaking of Rob Brown and Roncalli, I got a chance to catch a little bit of your action earlier with Mr. Cook.
Yeah.
Jimmy, a Southsider. He said he kind of learned the trade from old Mr. Brown.
And that's the student of his, so first time we'd had a chance to work together. Here's a ball hit out to the second baseman, on to first for the out. So 2 outs away now for the Roncalli Rebels and a Circle City baseball championship. 1 down.
Grandma likes that.
Number 13, the designated hitter.
Going back to the regular season, so Roncalli split the regular season conference championship with Guerin Catholic, both of them finishing 8-2. Conference records this year. That one tattooed into deep center.
And going way back, he cannot catch up with it, and on the way to second base with a stand-up double is Swanson. So that thing was hit deep into the 385 marker in the alley there, Thad. No problem as far as the stand-up.
We talked about Hanson earlier having the hardest hit ball of the night. That is no longer. Swinson hammered that ball almost to the deepest part of the yard. going back to what I was talking about, so Roncalli shared the regular season crown with Guerin Catholic, but the opportunity here with 2 more outs to clinch the conference tournament championship here in the CCC.
And Marednik will come to the plate. He's been a force for this team. Another youngster for the Braves. Double and had 3 RBIs back in that 3rd inning when the team was able there. There's a ball hit into the alley once again. This is going to fall in there for a base hit. They will hold him at 3rd, and runners aboard now at 1st and 3rd with 1 out.
Another knock there for Mareknik. Like that. Got a nice little swing, that young man.
He does, inside and out.
Number 17, the right fielder, Philip Hess.
So we're going to get a visit here with Philip Hess coming to the plate for the first time tonight, hitting from the right side. 1 out. It's 12-4 in favor of Roncalli. Still 2 outs away. Runners at 1st and 3rd. First pitch is a call, strike 1.
Henry is now over 50 pitches.
Trying to close the door here with an 8-run lead. Fastball down low, misses. Takes the count to 1-1. I want to thank all of our sponsors for being a part of this special telecast presentation on Indiana SRN. We appreciate their support all season long. And a special thank you goes again out to Roncalli for the host, as well as to all the participating schools in this coming conference. Only 3 years of age right now, but coming on strong.
Talking about earlier, still talking about expansion here within the conference.
Yeah.
Right now, standing with 6 institutions.
Well, you hear about this all the time, Thad, in terms of schools kind of be on the lookout because travel has become such an issue for some of the teams that have to go way too far. There's a base on balls given up, and now the bases are going to be loaded. Let's see if we're going to get a visit from Manager Kroll, who's coming to the mound right now. Yeah, we see this happen in the Conference Indiana, which Thad is very familiar with, especially with the Southport Cardinals, and making that long trip west over to Terre Haute South and to Terre Haute North. You know, that's an hour's drive at least, and especially on a Friday night when Interstate 70 is packed with trucks and so forth. It's a long trip back. And
just even when you think about conferences here within Central Indiana, even the MIC, you know, for Center Grove from the south side to go to Carmel all the way on the north side on a Friday night for games, that's a lot of travel. Or you talk about the Hoosier Crossroads, if you're trying to get from Noblesville to Plainfield or any of those. Heck, even the Mid-State Conference sometimes, and you're trying to go from, you know, from east to west.
Here's a ball hit into left field. It's going to fall in there for a base hit. 1 run will score for Brebeuf. They will hold the runner at 3rd, but the inning will continue. So Brebeuf not done yet.
1 bag at a time there for Brebeuf.
Another RBI coming in there for Hartung, and coming to the plate now is Farlander. So all of a sudden, Brebeuf has their bats awoken. That's 4 base hits here in this inning. Straight up in the air. Going to make a play on it at second base. Coming on is Grannon for the 2nd out of the inning. He went after that first pitch and just did not get it.
Left fielder Anthony Ane.
2 down now for the Rebels. See if Henry can finally slam the door here on a championship for Roncalli.
Roncalli has scored 1 run here in the 7th to make it a 12-5 game. Ane fourth time up today. Hit it off to the second baseman, coming up with fielding easily and on to first for the third out of the inning. And the gloves for Roncalli goes straight up in the air, and now the dog pile at the pitcher's mound. You are seeing the 2019 Circle City Conference champion in the Roncalli Rebels. Our final today, Roncalli 12 and the Braebuff Braves 5. We're going to keep it right here as we kind of go into our post-game show, but a great game it was, and what the Roncalli Rebels did early in the game was just enough, Thad.
Yes, it was, and they got on it early. Couldn't be stopped after that. And really nice job of them responding. Once Braebuff put 4 runs on the board there in the third inning, they cut the lead from 6-0 to 6-4, but the bats of Roncalli came right back, hung up 6 more runs in the next couple of innings to stretch the lead out to 12-4. And really, I think the story of the night offensively for Roncalli was what they did, the work from the top of the order there with Brian Keeney and Tommy Hansen. Keeney scores 3 runs tonight with 2 hits. Also scored a run when he got walked for Hansen. A couple other hits, a couple RBIs. He scored 4 runs tonight. Without those 2 guys at the top of the order, it's a different game, but those guys really dominated on the offensive part of the game for the Rebels.
Couldn't have said it better, Thad, especially in the fact that this Roncalli team has been characterized, and not just this year, but in many years past, in terms of their aggressive base running. And they like to take chances, and they made things happen early in this game and continued it right on out. Let's take a moment to recognize the Braebuff Braves as well. They head to a 14-13-1 mark as far as the season goes before they head into sectional play of next week, but they gave it all they had.
Well, let's go back to the semifinal first. Unbelievable comeback against Guerin Catholic. Guerin, the number 2 seed here in the CCC tournament. They shared the conference crown with Roncalli this year, going 8-2, and they were down 5-2, basically dead to rights at one point. They battle back, get that win 6-5. Come here, they get down 6-0 right after the first 2 innings. You're like, oh man, Braves are in trouble. What do? Top of the third, they hang 4 up there, get that lead back to 6-4, but Roncalli just too much. And someone else we really need to talk about with Roncalli too is Ryan Henry, the pitcher. He started in right field, came into the mound, and I think he finished right around 60 pitches tonight, but a really nice job by Henry in relief. Kind of after they got those runs in the third inning, Henry just really calmed him down and threw a lot of strikes, kept Braebuff off balance, and Roncalli 2019 CCC baseball champs.
Championship will go back into the Roncalli Trophy case as far as tonight's game is concerned. Just a reminder that, again, these 2 teams will have off now until next Wednesday when the 53rd annual IHSA State Baseball Tournament will unfold. And again, Braebuff will be hosting its own sectional that involves Greencastle, Tri-West, Ritter, Danville, and Braebuff. And of course, Roncalli will move over to the Class 4A sectional at Southport next week as well. They too draw a bye, so they'll be off until Friday night. Central Indiana alive and well as far as the great game of baseball is concerned, and it's been a great day here on the Roncalli campus.
When you talk about 4A baseball and you talk about Central Indiana, over the past, maybe 4 to 5 years, kind of that Friday night championship game. Typically this year the dates are a little bit different. I think it's a Tuesday, Wednesday this year for
17 and 18, I believe, is the finals.
The championships. But in the past few years, you've had the one kind of game on Friday night and then the 3 games on Saturday. They've been kind of trying to make it based on travel distances, and that Friday night game over the past 4 to 5 years has been dominated by the 4A game with Noblesville, Roncalli. Terre Haute North came up a couple of years ago as well. So it's 4A baseball in Central Indiana. Fishers last year, and Cathedral matchup. So Central Indiana 4A baseball is very, very strong.
We see right now, Thad, Crown Point sitting on top as far as the rankings are concerned with the coaches poll as well as PBR, but sitting in that second spot is a Keith Hatfield Center Grove Trojan team, now standing at 23-2 on the season. They've won 21 straight now, and they are coached by Keith Hatfield, who is a former Ron Colley boss here. So they are a team to be watched. So again, it was a great outing as far as this championship day is concerned, and again, we want to thank all the participants as far as their schools are concerned, and especially to Ron Colley for hosting this great tournament. Final comments, my friend?
Just thought it was a great effort tonight from Ron Colley. And again, I just want to go back to Keeney and Hanson. They were just dominant on the offensive side. On base all night long. Couple big knocks from both of those guys. They were the difference tonight for this championship for the Rebels.
Thanks again to all of our sponsors for making this project as far as the Circle City Conference and telecast possible today, and to our participating schools and to our faithful audiences. Once again, our final score here tonight, it's the Ron Colley Rebels 12 and Braybuff 5. And until next time, on behalf of my broadcast partner, Thad Van Devener, and the entire SRN Sports team, Steve McClure reminding you that he lives for you and for me. Good night, everybody.